I don't have. The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language and flashing imagery.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
We are live from the Emirates Arena and it is fight night in Abu Dhabi. The World Light Heavyweight Championship will be up for grabs when the first bell rings in our main event tonight between the champion Dmitry Bivol and the challenger Zurdo Ramirez, live on the world, around the world on DAZN. Chris Lloyd here with Darren Barker. Welcome to Before the Bell. And before we start, we have to do the important thing and say hello to your lovely kids who are watching. Hello kids. Darren, this year has flown by, hasn't it? Yeah. And we're getting to that point of the year where we start to look at the kind of consensus awards, Fighter of the Year, Fighter of the Year. If Dmitry Bivol wins in good fashion tonight, he's got a good claim to that, hasn't he?
Well, he beat the man, didn't he?
Did.
He beat Canelo in a great evening in Las Vegas. It's a tremendous night for Canelo and his team. And yeah, he's one of the main men out there. This is a huge fight for both men. There's a pot of gold for the winner, but what a night we're in for. We
certainly are. 9 fights on the undercard. Let's have a look at what's in store, shall we? Our chief support sees a huge opportunity for the UK's Chantal Cameron and Chicago's Jess McCaskill to go undisputed at 140 pounds, and for Shavkat Rakimov and Zelfa Barrett, the chance to become a world champion for the first time. The IBF Super Featherweight title is on the line. Former WBA Super Flyweight World Champion Kao Yafai will kick off the show later on tonight, supported for the first time on a professional bill by his younger brother, Olympic gold medalist Galal, on a fast track to world title ambitions of his own. We've got 3 local Emirati fighters on the bill tonight too. Majid Al-Nakbi on the main card, as well as Sultan Al-Nuami and Fahad Alblushi right here on Before the Bell in just a few minutes' time, alongside British lightweights Campbell Hatton and Aqib Fiaz. Well, welcome everybody from wherever you're joining us around the world. Here from Abu Dhabi, Eddie Hearn has dropped in for a chat before we sit down at the commentary desk for Before the Bell. Eddie, what a week it's been and what a fight night we have ahead.
It's been amazing. I mean, a lot of us have been doing some work. Darren's been having a great time. I mean, you know, he's had it off, hasn't he? It's been unbelievable. And when we came in here this morning, we only got into the venue this morning to rig, and it's been a real tight squeeze, but looks sensational and ready for a massive night. It's been a great week. I think we all feel, like I said yesterday, very lucky. And I honestly think this is a tremendous card. You know, as a promoter, sometimes you turn up at the arena and you've got a little bit of a swag, because you know you're going to be really unlucky for this not to be something special tonight.
You mentioned some of the big fights that have stalled in recent months. It hasn't ever really been plain sailing between promoters in boxing, but positive that you and Oscar De La Hoya seem to have had a good working relationship this week. Has that been much needed amidst the current climate?
Yeah, we should do. I mean, we're with the same platform. You know, we've got 2 fighters that wanted the fight. It's our jobs, really. You know, and I honestly believe that Oscar De La Hoya wants to make big fights. I do, because we only really get the credit when you make a big fight. And actually, you only, even if you think it's all about the money, we only really make money when there's a big fight. So why would we not want the big fights? And you know, sometimes it is the promoters' fault, but sometimes it's the managers and the lawyers and the trainers and the fighters. And here was just 2 guys. You felt it all week. They just believed they're going to win. Like Zurdo's team, you know, his training team, Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, they think they can beat Dmitry Bivol, and vice versa. And you know, Bivol, we know, is up for any challenge, and this is a big one for him tonight.
And Darren, for De La Hoya's man Ramirez tonight, if he wins it, it changes the landscape of the light heavyweight division. Long reigning champions in Valtier and Bivol kind of picking up that mantle from Kovalev, who was so dominant in the last decade. Everybody wants to see them fight. Ramirez can really spoil the party tonight, can't he?
Well, look, the pot of gold for the winner is huge. So to have that fight with Valtier is, I guess, what everybody wants right now. I mean, he's a handful, but everyone, when you're at this level, wants the big fight. I I just favour Bivol in this fight. I think he's the one who's proven at the elite level. Obviously, Ramirez was a super middleweight champion, beat Arthur Abrahams and a couple of others, but we just don't know how good he is. This could be the night where we say Ramirez.
Do you think he's got to pressure Dmitry Bivol? I mean, Canelo was just too small, wasn't he? He didn't really break down the rhythm of Dmitry Bivol. I was thinking about this fight today a little bit. Has Zurdo got to be aggressive?
100%. And he will be on the front foot for the majority of the contest. It's just so difficult pinning Bivol down for me. The way he moves side to side, the lateral movement, the way he gets back to centre ring, so impressive. But yes, he does have to be on the front foot. Yeah,
fascinating fight, high stakes, as are many of the contests at the business end of proceedings. Later on tonight on DAZN. Stick with us. We have got 4 fights coming up here on Before the Bell. The first are ready to ring walk. So let's hand you over, without further ado, to our Master of Ceremonies for the evening, Mr. David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Etihad Arena here in beautiful Abu Dhabi for the kickoff of the Champions Series. We begin tonight with a 6-round lightweight contest. Making his way to the ring, please welcome Irakli Shervidley. And now making his way to the ring, please welcome Kid Emirati Fahad Alblushi.
Well, he's soaking in the moment, and rightly so. 26 years of age, the Emirati kid. Half Pinoy, half Emirati, super featherweight, 10-1 with 2 knockouts. He was due to face a 6-round rematch with Georgi Gochishvili, who inflicted his only defeat when they met in 2019 in Kazakhstan. But he is against a late notice opponent. Kind of fights Philly shell, uses that shoulder roll and counters off his opponent's lead. Likes to fight at long range, measures the distance well. And he said he's excited to be on this card in what he believes is without doubt the biggest night in UAE boxing history. And well, what a moment for these young local fighters, Darren.
I really liked what I heard from him speaking at the presser. He understands that this is a big moment for him in UAE boxing, especially with what's going on. It's a great time for these guys to be the next star of Middle Eastern boxing.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Etihad Arena here in beautiful Abu Dhabi for the beginning of the Champions Series, all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We are live on DAZN, and tonight we're sponsored by Palm Sports, Wow Hydrate, Stagefront, and Visit Abu Dhabi. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the Middle East Professional Boxing Commission. The head of commission is Jose Mohan. Introducing your 3 judges scoring our first contest from ringside. From the United Kingdom, Gary Kitanowski. From Mexico, Juan Carlos Pelayo. And from Lebanon, Walid Chehabi. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring from the Philippines, referee Gerald Tom Eldon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black and silver. He scaled 61.1 kilos. His professional record, 7 victories, 12 defeats, 1 draw, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Rustavi, Georgia, please welcome Irakli Sheriashvili. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the black with the gold trim. He's scaled at already 60.8 kilos. His professional record, 10 victories, 1 defeat, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Dubai, here in the United Emirates. Please welcome Kid Emirati Fahad Alblushi.
So first fight of the night here on Before the Bell, live from the Emirates Arena at Abu Dhabi. Welcome if you're just joining us. Chris Lloyd here alongside Darren Barker to take you through the next 4 contests. This one, a 6-rounder. Agreed at £135. Fahad Alblushi, the shorter figure of the two, the white gloves, weighed in yesterday at £134. Irakli Sheriashvili, the tall figure, languid, rangy, was 134.7. Unorthodox, can hit you from any angle, but does leave himself open, Darren. It'll be for Alblushi early to try and have a look at him, see where those openings lie.
Absolutely. I think when you're facing someone as tall as Sheriashvili, the jab to the body is key. Variation with the jab, feints upstairs, jab to the body, vice versa. Just keep the Georgian thinking. Nice crisp jab by Alblushi. He's a good fighter. He's switched on. He's got good reactions. He moves his feet out of range really well. He can occasionally switch off. I've seen him as rounds go on. Does get caught with sloppy shots, but there's a lot to work with.
Struggling to get into range so far. Nice shot landed there.
It's a nice jab from Alblushi. Again, just targeting the head, I think dropping it down to the body.
Sheriashvili, he's quite naturally quite a counter puncher.
Yeah.
Just pulls the trigger on the right hand counter over the jab. It was a nice glancing right hand that landed there for Alblushi.
Yeah, like I was saying in the ring walk there, he's a bit of a nightmare to pin down, Sheriashvili. So you've got to be quick on the feet, you've got to cut that ring down, try and pin him into the corner. Again, right hand just missing, didn't it there, Alblushi? Yeah,
looking to counter off the ropes, Sheriashvili as well. And again, just raking in that left hand to the body. Does like to throw that as a kind of corkscrew uppercut as well.
Yep, just needs to be a bit quicker on his feet, Alblushi. He's letting his hands go before his feet move, and that's why he's just been out of range a couple of times. You see it again. Sheriashvili can be a real nightmare. You see him moving side to side and he pounces in with 4 shots. Only 2 KOs on the record of Sheriashvili, so there's not much power there.
Just lands the left hook there. Sheriashvili replied with just one to the body, but the Emirati kid just keeping those elbows tucked down by his sides, patiently waiting, just looks for that jab to the body. And again, Sheriashvili just pulls the trigger on that right hand counter. Didn't miss by too much. Just trying to draw the lead with a feint, and does so there. Not able to punish him that time. Just a couple of seconds to the end of round number 1. Fairly cagey opener. Little pockets of success for both fighters. And well, the kids from the local gym have been visited this week by Zurdo Ramirez, by Dmitry Bivol, Freddie Roach as well. Hard to understate the impact that will have had on them, their belief, just seeing some of their heroes in the flesh this week.
Oh, I mean, like I said, this is huge for Middle Eastern boxing. The fact that there's going to be professional boxing here on a regular occasions. I mean, it's so important that these guys not only win but look good. They've got an opportunity to get on these shows in the future and become stars. I mean, there's a lot to work with. I mean, I can't get into it too much now because it would take a bit of time, but it's grassroots that needs to be invested in. Eddie said he's going to do that. So, look, the future for Middle Eastern boxing is very bright, Chris.
So here we go then, round number 2 of 6 as the fighters are brought to the centre of the ring. Patient start from Alblushi and from Shervidley as well, both trying to trigger each other off and counter. That was a nice little two-phase counter there from Alblushi.
Yeah, it was a lovely right to the body. Shervidley falling over his front foot, and lovely sharp shot, looking at that right hand over the top. He has to be careful with that jab. Shervidley can't be pouring it out. We've seen on a couple of occasions Alblushi, when he lets the shots go properly, they're quick, they're sharp, accurate. Just missing with the left hook there, Shervidley.
Yeah, you can see him trying to line the uppercut too as well because of the height discrepancy. And well, for the 2 or 3 occasions where he has been stopped early, to his credit, he went 6 with Kershaw Tojibayev, an Uzbek prospect who beat Joe Cordina at the Rio Games before he was eliminated by the eventual winner Robson Conceição. So he does know what he's doing, and you can see why. Quite calm rhythm, doesn't overcommit himself, relaxed, hits you with unorthodox shots and a natural counter puncher as well. A little bit of swag about him too. Ooh, he's very beatable as that right hand just glances the top left of the head of the Georgian.
Yeah, Shervidley doing what he usually does, frustrating his opponents. Belushi, he's boxing nicely. He just needs a bit more urgency on the feet. Needs to be quicker, closing that gap.
Just looking for that left-hand counter. Landed a couple there. One was to the head, just another short one up the inside.
Just trying to up the tempo slightly, Alblushi, and I think that's what he needs to do. Just go through the gears a little bit, try and slow Shervidley down.
Just parrying that jab away. Just walking clockwise there into the path of the right hand. And Alblushi just getting a little bit closer now in the second round.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to work with, remember, 6 rounds scheduled.
That's where he needs to start popping that jab out to the body. There you go, that's better, just as I said it.
There you go.
You know, and look for the right hand over the top. You can see Shervidley, every time he throws that jab to the body or he feints to the body, you get the reaction, the hands drop, and that's when you can look for the right hand over the top.
Or the left hook that he just landed there in that little exchange as Shervidley just ties him up again. Looks pretty comfortable so far. Just starting to be on the kind of second best on these exchanges as Alblushi just walking him down, measuring that distance with a jab, just falling short with the right hand. Long arms, isn't he? Almost tie his shoelaces standing up, couldn't he? As he just turns, as he turns southpaw.
You're wrong there.
A little low that one perhaps from Alblushi. No complaints there from Shervidley. 2 rounds in the books. Campbell Hatton and Haque Fiaz, 2 old stablemates from Northside Boxing Gym in the north of England. And they were young amateurs, will both be in action, looking to go 9 and 10 and 0 respectively in our next 2 fights. And it all leads, of course, later on tonight to the big one.
I've been waiting so long for this moment. This is a big challenge for me.
These are the kind of fights that we need to see. WBA Light Heavyweight World Championship between Dmitry Bivol and Zurdo Ramirez.
What a main event we've got coming up a little bit later on. The WBA World Light Heavyweight title. Dmitry Bivol defending his belt against the 44-0 Gilberto Ramirez. Can the giant southpaw Mexican apply pressure that we so rarely see Dmitry Bivol under? Reading a tweet from Dan Canobio. His family, of course, set up CompuBox, just talking about the dominance, statistical dominance of Bivol. He's been outlanded in 1 round of his last 76. That was all the way back in 2018. He's got the highest jab land to connect percentage pound for pound in the modern day, ahead of even Shakur Stevenson. And he's the least hit fighter in the modern era as well. And while we talk about Zurdo Ramirez, Darren, being a volume puncher, lovely right hand lands there from Alblushi. But the volume, we can't expect Zurdo Ramirez to be landing in the same kind of differentials that he normally does because of what Dmitry Bivol does himself.
I mean, they're incredible stats, they really are. And again, proving why he's one of the main men out there, Bivol. Ramirez, it's a tough task. But like we said before, if you can get that jab, the right to the body, etc., into play, he's got a chance, but it don't get much tougher. But Alblushi, been a bit sloppy at the start of this third round. Been a bit wild with the right hand, looping over the top, and made it slightly easy for Shervidley just to fire back with the counters. Nice right uppercut there, just grazing the target. Growing in confidence, Shervidley.
Well, he can be a bit of a bully. It's got a couple of subpar opposition, let's be perfectly honest, but it's been quite dominant. Fought a guy called Georgi Chiribchiri, hurt him to the body, dropped him in the first round, finished him inside the first 3 minutes. It took him just 2 rounds to get rid of David Binzinashvili. Again, beat up his countryman who didn't come out for the third round. So when he fancies it, he's hitting you from shots from angles that you don't see. He can be dangerous. He fought a small southpaw called Chico Odikadze a couple of years ago. And, well, he didn't unravel through any fault of his own. He dislocated his right shoulder. Was just caught with a kind of short uppercut on the inside and just popped the arm out. With limbs like that, you can kind of see why. But on his day, he can be a handful. So far, Alblushi looks like he's just getting control of this contest as we near the end of round number 3.
Yeah, he's just got to up the tempo. Sorry, Chris, Alblushi. Not doing a lot wrong, really. There's a couple of clumsy mistakes, but he's just looking for the one shot. You see there, looking for the left hook. I think, you know, setting traps, the jab to the body, not to keep on about it, but feints, try and draw out the lead. But I think he's got to get closer. And you get closer by being more aggressive on that front foot.
Nice 1-2 there from Shervidley. End of the round. Halfway point of our first contest of the evening. Two of the Yafai brothers in action a bit later on as well. Former world champion Cal and Olympic gold medalist younger brother Galal. All live on DAZN in a couple of hours' time. And well, meanwhile, Farhad Alblushi, Darren, he made a couple of mistakes in that last round, but by and large, he's in control through 3.
Yeah, he is. I feel he just has to up the tempo, be more aggressive with the feet, like I say. Shervidley, though, I don't think he'll be too disappointed with the way the fight's going. He's moving, he's making life difficult for Alblushi, but he's not in any danger. And I think when you've got the sort of record that Shervidley has, you just don't want to be getting hurt. And I think he's moving and doing what his job is supposed to be.
So into the second half of the contest then. Round 4 of 6. If you're just joining us, Farhad Alblushi from the UAE. In the black trunks trimmed with gold, the white gloves, and his opponent, Irakli Shervidley from Rustavi in Georgia. Nice uppercut there, look for the left hook behind it, and that just rushes Alblushi. Good start to the round from the Georgian.
Yeah, chin high as he come in there, just lucky to avoid a left hook.
Yeah, well, that's what he has been caught, been his kind of undoing, isn't it?
Again, you see there, typical example of what's been happening 9 times out of 10 with the jab of Alblushi. Just falling short, and he's just not bringing the feet in. Shervidley leaning back, making it difficult. That's where you jab to the body. We've mentioned this plenty of times in the past. When you're in there with someone that leans back, that body stays exactly where it is. The head may be off target, but the body isn't. So jab the body, work the body of the taller man.
He's got that lead hand low, just trying to manoeuvre him around the outside of the ring. Find an opening, walked him onto a right hand in the first round as he was just moving clockwise, and now just taking the feet back and dropping that head off the line, keeping safe. Shervidley's been in retreat for the last minute and 10 or so after a decent start to the round.
He's just Billy Joe Saunders-like. Sees the right hand waving by.
Every fighter dreams of that moment,
They do, don't they?
Oh, a lovely little chopping right hand there from Alblushi, and Shervidley just holds on. Referee separates them.
Look, he's far too comfortable for me, Shervidley, and Alblushi has to put him under more pressure. He's just kind of in cruise control. Got up the gears, 2 phases, 3 phases. What I mean by that is 2 shots, go again, 3 shots, and again. Got to make someone like Shervidley uncomfortable.
Yeah, because it looks like Shervidley's kind of gone into, I mean, it's hardly survival mode because he's not under enough pressure, but he's decided he's not going to win this, so he's just taking as little damage as possible.
He's doing his thing. He's doing what he's more than capable of doing, and that's, I mean, it was a lovely little right uppercut and left hook by Shervidley, but he's just, when he's made to be able to do as he pleases, as he is now, just moving at ease, he can really make it difficult for his opponents, and we've seen that against Alblushi. He just needs to be a bit more aggressive. Look, he's not doing a great deal wrong, it's just the lack of tempo for me. But that's not taking anything away from Shervidley, who, let's get it right, he is a bit of a nightmare.
Just around the little right hand there, and then a left hook, nice right over the top again.
It was.
Decent finish to the round from the Georgian, just turns southpaw. Around the outside of the ring, just hands low, just trying to bait Alblushi into something, but the Emirati not taking the bait. 4 rounds then of 6. Yours. And a crash helmet as well.
And a crash helmet, yeah. A suit of armour.
Especially if Joshua Buatsi is driving. Like Lewis Hamilton, but without the skills. So a little delay before the start of round number 5. And welcome to those of you that are just starting to tune in and join us. Chris Lloyd alongside Darren Barker here in Abu Dhabi at the Emirates Arena for Before the Bell. First of our scheduled contest this evening. Fahad Alblushi on the right of your screen in the white gloves, the black trumps trimmed with gold. Irakli Shervidley's come out looking like he fancies it in this round. He's behind on the cards, you'd imagine, by a fair stretch.
Ooh.
Just catches a lovely chopping right hand, and that drew a reaction, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a lovely right hand over the top, but as you just pointed out there, Shervidley really coming to fight at the start of this 5th round. A few uppercuts followed by the left hooks, right hand, but his chin does rise when he lets his hands go, and you see that's when Alblushi has success, just missing with another right hand, taking the sting out of the shot. Shervidley, who again, he's moved an awful lot in this fight.
And when he did hold his feet in trade, as you say, had the success, but was vulnerable. Probably got hit with the best clean shot of the contest so far. But again, just trying to stand and earn the respect of Alblushi. Again, just inches that front foot into range, measures with a jab, fires with the right hand.
Yeah, this is better, Chris. More aggression on that front foot, and he's changing the levels with the shot. You see moments before, a couple of straight rights to the body, then a jab to the head. Just mixing it up, being unpredictable. Making it hard for Shervidley to read the shots coming his way.
Shervidley just led with the right hand. Alblushi looked to counter, pushing him onto the back foot again. Just over a minute to go in this penultimate round, and Alblushi just quicking those feet up now. Just senses that the end is creeping a little closer now. He's only got 1 round to go after this, and Shervidley just trying to, almost pointing, saying this is the direction I'm going to go. Just trying to feint, give himself a little bit of space.
This is what I wanted to see, Chris. Look, he's not letting his hands go as much as I'd like, Alblushi, but that aggression on the front foot, I've said it time and time again through these 5 rounds, just a bit more aggression. Stepping forward, this is better, letting his hands go now. Oh, landed a left hook, a right uppercut, followed by shots to the body. Better work, it's been a good 5th round this, Alblushi. Best round yet.
Trying to chop away at the body is Shervidley, trying to smother his work with just over 10 seconds to go in round number 5. Just for the first time in the contest, he looks like he's starting to feel the pace of it. Just a little short right up close when they were exchanging in the first minute of the contest. Just looked like it buzzed him a little bit, certainly lifted up, and you just saw his eyes a little wide, and he stepped immediately off around the outside of the ring and just went into a little bit more of a negative posture and just gone a little flatter in these last 30, 45 seconds or so. And Alblushi now just stepping on him Shervidley looking to get to the end of the round and try and recover in 60 seconds and rally for the final 3 minutes.
Yeah, good round for Alblushi. Best round for him yet. You can see he was happy with that round. Doing exactly what I was asking for. Pushing forward on that front foot, letting his hands go. Enjoying his boxing. Nice jabs. That was all head hunting there, but there was good changes of levels with the shot. There was one of them straight rights to the body and again. And when you're someone like Shervidley, that makes it hard work for you. You know, you can't read what's coming your way. Good work to the body, the tempo, and just generally making it uncomfortable for the Georgian.
Yeah, he physically looks quite strong as well. Just saw a little passage of play there, and Shervidley just tried to push him back and wasn't able to kind of extend the levers and take him off balance. Not a big guy, is he, Alblushi, but physically strong, low centre of gravity, and not being pushed around here. So it's been a good 5 rounds for that man on your screen there. The Emirati kid, he's enjoyed himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 6th and final round.
6th and final round.
And he is in full control as we head into the final round here. In our first contest in Abu Dhabi.
Let's see if he can close the show in style. Entertain his home supporters. Started well, mixing up that jab, throwing the right to the body. See if he can really let his hands go, but again, Shervidley.
Defensively, he's been good to Alblushi. When Shervidley's tried to spring off the ropes in combinations, he's thrown 4 or 5 shots at a time, but all of them have missed. He just makes himself small, dips, slides, takes the feet back with him, and nullifies the aggression in pockets that Shervidley has shown.
Yeah, there's been variation of defence, like you say, moving side to side. As we see at the start of the round, just gliding out of range. You see him with the jab there. Alblushi, and again, really on the retreat now, Shervidley. No intentions whatsoever of engaging with Alblushi. Been impressed with the little short right counter to the body from Alblushi. Picks that shot really well. When he takes his head offline, I'm surprised he didn't throw it there. Just slips inside, or outside rather, of the jab and fires in a nice short right to the body. Got to be careful though, moving forward with that low lead hand. Someone with a bit more speed and accuracy. They'll be looking for that right hand over the top, certainly out of the orthodox stance. But if you're a Alblushi or a fan or the coach of Alblushi, there's a lot to work with. You know, there's a great future, we believe, for Middle Eastern boxing, like we touched on at the top of the show. So, the future could be bright for this young man.
Yeah, he's been in control through the better part of these 6 rounds as we enter the final minute of the contest. Shervidley just trying to keep himself safe now, just moving clockwise round the outside of the ring, just changing direction. Alblushi going with him, looking to set that right hand up. There it is. You can see him loading up for it, just trying to touch with the jab and then load it up. But Shervidley not been easy to catch clean at range with that right hand. He caught a clean one. It was almost a right hook really when they were up close in the last round. That just momentarily slowed him down. But again, he's been drifting away to his left hand side because he is tall. That head is a long way away. Not easy for Alblushi to get in range and to land that, but now just trying to shorten those shots up. Shervidley keeping the hands tight, fires back with the right hand.
He's feeling the pace now. Last 13 seconds of the fight. He's moved non-stop throughout. He's tried. See there again with the right uppercut and the left hook. He'll jump in with 3-4 shots. So, you know, he's played his part. He'll learn from this Alblushi.
Yeah, pockets of resistance from the Georgian, but it was nigh on complete control from the Emirati kid, Fahad Alblushi. No doubt this man will be moving to 11-1 in just a few moments' time. First of 4 contests here on Before the Bell in the books. Campbell, Hatton, Haque, Fiaz, Sultan, Al-Nuami still to come. We kick off the live feed on DAZN at around 9:30 local time here in Abu Dhabi, whatever that translates to in your corner of the world. Khalid Yafai back in action after 2 years of inactivity through the pandemic, and after losing his long-held WBA super flyweight title against one of the all-time legends of the modern game in Roman Gonzalez in a 9th round shootout in which he was stopped. He's now campaigning up at 118 pounds, and well, with Naoya Inoue expected to do a comprehensive job on Paul Butler in the coming weeks, could he move up to 122, splinter those belts and offer big opportunities for former champion Yafai? He's up against Gerald Paklar from the Philippines, first up on the bill. And then Majid Al-Nakbi, the other Emirati fighter from Dubai, will be second on the bill against John Lawrence Ordonio. All to come ahead of some big fights live on the Zoners. Fahad Alblushi and Irakli Shariashvili just exchanged pleasantries, head to centre of the ring, and we have the scorecard. So without further ado, let's head over to David.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here in Abu Dhabi, we go to the judges' score totals, and they read as follows. Walid Shahabi, 60-54. Juan Carlos Pelayo and Gary Kitanowski both scored about 59-55. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. From Dubai, UAE, Kid Emirati, Fahad Alblushi.
So 11-1 for young Fahad Alblushi. He's been waiting all week for this opportunity. He's got a win in comprehensive style. And he will feel that he's impressed enough to come back and have an opportunity again. As David Diamante to his right, and he'll be sitting down with his stablemates watching championship boxing action later on. IBF Super Featherweight World title, undisputed titles at 140 pounds, and of course the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship. Darren, talk us through what we just saw over the last 6 rounds.
I mean, look, it was a frustrating early few rounds, I felt, for Alblushi, purely because of Shariashvili's movement. He was hard to pin down. He was winning the rounds, I'd say, Alblushi, but just loading up with the single shots, not enough variation with the jab, etc., and making life fairly comfortable for Shariashvili. And when you've got an opponent like the Georgian in front of you, you've got to do what Alblushi's doing here, being aggressive. I use that word again, aggressive, with the front foot, closing the gap, getting in front of your man and letting your hands go, making life difficult, getting the last of the exchanges there. And just as the rounds grew on, he just started to fancy it a bit more and started to believe in himself. And look, I've said it there, there's an awful lot to work with if you're Alblushi. It's just taking it to that next step. You know, we're so fortunate back home in England, in the States, etc. There's so many great coaches, and sparring is everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, top level sparring. Yeah. Just here, this neck of the woods, it's difficult because the sparring with top level fighters really catapults you to that next level. It is a work in progress boxing here, but if they can get that quality of fighters through, it's really going to catapult this to the next level.
Let's talk about the main event tonight, what we're all here for. Dmitry Bivol defending the WBA Light Heavyweight World title against Gilberto Ramirez, former WBO Super Middleweight World Champion. How he ever made 168, we still don't know seeing him this week. You always are fascinated to see these fighters in the flesh. A giant of a man. Bivol, we know, is not a huge light heavyweight, but what he lacks in that out-and-out size, the timing, the feet, that underrated punch power as well, means that opponents don't just walk through him, because frankly they can't. We mentioned, for those of you that have been watching for the last half an hour or so, that staggering differential, kind of a 52% jab thrown to connect percentage for Dmitry Bivol, putting on top of the list of anyone pound for pound in the modern day. And adding to that, he's the least hit fighter of any elite fighter in the modern day. This volume punch approach that Gilberto Ramirez tends to be known for, you can't expect those kind of numbers to be landed by the Mexican in this fight.
Well, I mean, look, you've touched on it there. The jab is so important for... Right, OK, I'll leave Bivol for 1 second. We know how great his jab is with the stats that you've just named there. For Ramirez to get his shots off and that work rate off, you need to work behind the jab. Well, that's going to be very difficult when you're in with one of the best jabbers in world boxing. So how does Ramirez approach this fight? I've no doubt that he's got to be aggressive on that front foot. I use the word aggressive again, but he really does need to bring his feet in. The issue what comes with that is the way that Bivol moves is so nimble on his feet. He moves side to side. You know, he doesn't favour one direction. He can move out of range so quickly.
That balance is always centred.
The balance, I mean, his transfer of weight is so good. He never really falls over the front foot. He's not clumsy at all. He's well schooled. But aside from the defence, which is so impressive, it's the offence, the way he attacks, he springs into range, as we see against Canelo. I just feel there's more strings to the bow of Bivol, and the mentality, the way he approached that Canelo fight and wasn't unfazed. He went into the fight as underdog. I mean, we went against that, but it was just, he's shown me that he's an elite level fighter. Ramirez hasn't yet. I'm not saying he can't, but he hasn't yet.
It could be his coming out party tonight, and it could be one for his trainer as well, young apprentice Julian Chua, who trained under Freddie Roach at the Wildcard Gym for many years, was an amateur boxer himself, wasn't totally in love with the idea of being a fighter himself, but has really started in recent years to prove himself as a trainer. And of course we know that the Freddie Roach's name was catapulted into the boxing stratosphere with Manny Pacquiao. For Chua, another southpaw, if it's a big night and a big performance, he will get his credit and start to become a name that people know and recognise as well.
He's got a very important job on his hands. I mean, in these top level, elite level fights, the top end of the scale, fine lines, fine margins make the difference. And the coach, certainly for me, Tony Sims, I couldn't have done it without him. My old coach, 10 years I had Tony for. We just knew each other, we understood each other. And for these guys, their coaches are going to play a massive part in this fight.
There's a brilliant long-form interview with Julian Chua that has just dropped with John Pullman on the Pullman's YouTube channel. Do check that one out. Dmitry Bivol hasn't fought a southpaw since Chicago's Samuel Clarkson in 2017. How much could that play into tonight? Later on, we will find out who will walk away as light heavyweight world champion. Plenty of action to come here at the Emirates Arena in Abu Dhabi, and of course, plenty of action still to come on DAZN over the next few weeks.
Just witnessed history.
Tough times can even make you or break you.
It's Neymar! Cristiano Ronaldo scores!
In the women's game, you have to belong to play well.
Oh boy, that's beautiful!
And he was killing everybody.
She's done it!
Welcome back. The Emirates Arena here in Abu Dhabi. We're joined by the Queen of the Women's Super Featherweight division after one of the performances of the year, one of a brilliant year of women's fights against Michaela Mara a few weeks ago. After a long delay, 5 weeks, you got yourself back in and you got the victory. Congratulations. Did see you having a little nap though by the pool last night with big shades on. I know the trick, but apparently you had a long day. You've had a busy week, haven't you?
It has been a very busy week, but I'm so thankful to be here in Abu Dhabi. It's fight week. It's super exciting. Again, just an awesome card tonight.
Yeah, and a big opportunity for Chantel Cameron and Jessica McCaskill at 140 pounds to become undisputed later on tonight as well.
Absolutely, yes. 2 women going head-to-head. It's going to be action-packed. I'm really excited to see this fight tonight.
There's no way it could be a quiet fight, is it? At some point that catches fire, doesn't it?
Look, I've said it could compete or go up against Taylor Serrano. I just feel when I look at it stylistically, and what's on the line as well, that always conjures up unbelievable entertainment. I just feel it, like you say, I think early on, one thing we said with the female game, and I don't know if I've asked you the question whether there should be 2 or 3 minutes, the 2-minute rounds offer so much because you just have to get going straight away.
No, I agree. You have to work in that 2 minutes, and I think it's important that, we take advantage of the 2 minutes because we're only working with 2 minutes. So as we move forward and progress, hopefully we can get that that extra minute if need be, but it's going to be action-packed with these two, with the 2 minutes tonight.
And for you, of course, the extra belt, which is the one thing keeping you from undisputed as well. Kyung Mi Choi, is that the fight we can expect next for you, Alicia?
Absolutely. I've been pushing that fight. I definitely want to be undisputed come the new year, and I think it's going to happen.
Very exciting indeed. Alicia, thank you very much for your company. Our next two fighters, Campbell Hatton and Dennis Bartos, are ready to ring walk. So without further ado, let's hand back over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Etihad Arena here in Abu Dhabi, we are set to go with our next contest. 6 rounds in the lightweight division. And now making his way to the ring, please welcome Dennis Bartos. His way to the ring, please welcome Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
In action for the third time in 2022. He had 5 fights in his first 9 months last year. I think there was a fair bit of fatigue. He did a lot of travelling as well. The son of a legend in Ricky Hatton, of course, for our international viewers who haven't yet seen this young man. And well, I think there was definitely an argument down that he was overexposed at times last year. He was kind of almost came on.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Etihad Arena here in Abu Dhabi, we are set to go with the next contest of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We are live on DAZN, and we're sponsored by Palm Sports, Wow Hydrate, Stagefront, and Experience Abu Dhabi. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From the United Kingdom, Mike Hale. From Mexico, Juan Carlos Pelayo. And from Lebanon, Walid Shahabi. At the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, referee Shaz Junaib. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks. He scaled 62.45 kilos. His professional record, 9 wins against 5 defeats. He has 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Rakovnic, Czech Republic, please welcome Dennis Bartos. Bartos. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the sky blue with the white and maroon trim. He scales 63.25 kilos. His professional record thus far perfect, 8 fights, 8 victories, 2 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Manchester, England, introducing Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton. Hatton.
Okay, boys, bring it in. Let's go, gentlemen, bring it in. Okay, boys, we went over the instructions in the changing room, okay? So make sure you give me a good, clean fight. Watch the low punches, anything from the navel up is good. Watch the kidney punches, and watch the rabbit punches to the back of the head. And most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Good luck.
So 2 lightweights in action. Over 6 rounds in our second contest of the show here on Before the Bell. Top left of your screen, Campbell Hatton. From Hyde in Cheshire in the United Kingdom, Dennis Bartos in the black trunks from the Czech Republic.
Style Bartos. He'll move, he'll pop out the jab, he'll jump in and record. 6 KOs, so of the 9 wins that he's had, 6 of them in his shots. So a bit of pop in his shots, but Campbell Hatton, like I say, baby steps, moving along nicely, starting to snap out the shot. I think early on,
Stick him again.
a couple of fights, pushing out the shots instead of snapping them out. And that allowed opponents to look for the right hands over the top, the left hooks, the counters, and there's more fall. He sets traps. You know, that left hook to the head, taking upstairs and dropping to the body. Shades of his dad. He's starting to add that to his artillery.
Chopping down that right hand, landing the trademark left to the body, as you mentioned there. Remember so well from his dad, and well, between his dad and his uncle Matthew in the corner, fought arguably three of the greatest fighters of the modern era in Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, with a double right hand to the body, sinks Dennis Bartos down to the canvas. Still a minute 35 to go in round number 1. A little breakthrough here for Campbell Hatton.
Yep, he's a good body puncher, and that's the exact tactics.
Sinks it into the body, and Bartos down again. And is he going to get up this time? He looks badly hurt. I don't think he's going to make it, Darren.
Good victory that for Campbell Hatton. He done exactly the right thing, Chris. When you've got someone like Bartos that likes to move, use the body shot, slow the legs down, stop that movement. And that was a lovely left to the body. So accurate, so sharp with the shot. Set it up with 2 rights to the body before the drop Bartos. And that was a good victory, Chris. Intelligent stuff. Good work by Campbell.
Well, no sooner had they got going, it was all over, and Dennis Bartos is still down. We'll try and get some pictures of how he unravelled in just a few moments' time. But for Campbell Hatton, well, that's the most comfortable night's work of his career so far.
Absolutely. He's looked comfortable all week. He's enjoyed being on the road. We've seen him in Bilbao, in Gibraltar, and now in Abu Dhabi. He looked comfortable all week, and that's shown in his performance this evening. You can see the damage it's done to the right side of Bartos, really nursing that rib cage on the right, showing that he does have power, Campbell. It's just now
a good teacher as well, isn't he, of that particular
absolutely,
shot.
Absolutely, and you can see there's power there. I'll say it again, we can't get too carried away with Campbell. There was limited amateur experience. I can see a man just behind our desk here in Joe Cordina, the amount of fights that he had, it really is that foundation you need. But that is a class shot. That is delivered correctly. Look at that. Beautiful shot, so quick. Like I say, when you're snapping the shots out properly with real speed and accuracy, that's what can happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Shaz Junab calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute and 44 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by knockout, he's still undefeated, Campbell, the Hurricane Hatton.
So brilliant first round stoppage, left hook to the body that his dad would have been proud of. Campbell Hatton does move to 9-0 with 3 inside the distance. Dennis Bartos still looking uncomfortable as he leaves the ring. Well, he's had some pretty hard tear-ups in the early stages of his career, Campbell Hatton. We saw him, you know, right from the start, travelling around from Gibraltar all over the world, in Spain as well. And well, there he is, and he's just sitting by. Let's hear from him now with Jamie Ward.
Campbell, you wanted to see a big improvement in your overall performance tonight. The smile on your face says it all. How do you assess what we just seen? You happy with that?
Yeah, again, I'm not moaning, but I didn't get to show as much as I'd like to, and I think even though I got the stoppage, I'm not going to get carried away with it. The challenges are going to get a lot harder, but I think if I'd have gone in the old way, it'd have been a much more scrappy stoppage, and like I said in the press conference, the stoppage wouldn't have been enough. It's got to be a thoughtful one, and I think that's what it was. I picked my punches instead of bulldozing them down to the floor.
You put him down early and then followed up with a Hatton-esque thumping left hand to finish the fight. Talk us through that shot. Your dad would have been proud of that one.
Yeah, like I say, we've seen it in the gym. The left up to the body's always been one of my favourite shots, and must have come from somewhere, so dead happy with it. And again, it's because I was selective with my shots instead of just going in, throwing lots of numbers and volume, and yeah, I'm happy with that.
You've always said, Campbell, when you're at your most relaxed, that's when the stoppages come. Seeing you around the fight hotel all week, enjoying the sun with your coach Matthew as well, of course. Do you believe being relaxed all week, that translated into a composed performance tonight?
Yeah, definitely. We was in the changing room. Even the songs were relaxed. Had the business soundtrack, if everyone's wondering. But yeah, I was worried. I thought I couldn't believe how relaxed I was, really, even with my ring walk. So it just shows that's the difference it makes.
Fourth outing of 2022. How do you assess the last 12 months that you've had, the strides that you've taken, and what boxes do you want to tick next year as well?
Yeah, so I think we're more than ready to look at the 8 rounders now. Obviously, I'll leave that to the team, but so what? Get started on those, get more rounds under my belt, and maybe some point in back end of the year, maybe looking at a title of some sort.
And now you've got the job done, no doubt you'll be able to sit back, relax, and watch your dad's ring return next weekend. Looking forward to that. Bit nervous?
Do you know what? No, I'm not nervous. I've been watching him and preparing with him. Obviously, we shared a few rounds, and seeing how well he's doing, it gives me full confidence and it wipes out them nerves.
Great stuff, Campbell. Massive congratulations to you. We look forward to seeing much more of you next year. Well done.
Well, the action coming thick and fast on DAZN in the coming weeks. Right here in Abu Dhabi, we are in the midst of it. 2 fights in, 2 fights to go on before the bell. Keith Fiaz coming up next. But let's talk a little bit about the Yafai brothers, Darren, before we sit down for fight number 3. Cal Yafai, been out for 2 years, held that belt with the WBA at £115 for, it was about 3 years, and made 6 straight defences of it before running into Chocolatito. Bad timing for him too, because for any fighter, horrible to have to sit on a loss, especially when it's the loss of a world title. And then we went straight into that global pandemic for the best part of 18 months. He's had to watch younger brother Galal go and win an Olympic medal, which I know has given him a great sense of pride and sort of almost the fire to get back in the ring. He's coming back at £118 and having the ambition of going back into title action. Is that the sensible thing for him now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll want to get the job done this evening and really push on. You know, we were talking to him and you alluded probably 3 fights. I think that's about right, if I'm honest. No need to rush it. Look, I know he's in the twilight years of his career, but he's been out a long time. To compete at that top level, you do need to get your time in, your distance back. You need some time in the ring. Cal's a very good fighter. He's very well experienced through the amateurs and as a pro, numerous defences as world champion. And it's great to see him back. He's a great lad. Galal, I'm a huge fan of. I mean, how well he done in the Olympics. We've said before, you know, it didn't get much harder as far as route to the final and to win that gold was. And he's just shown what an exceptional talent he is.
Yeah, talking about that Olympic run, beating Corin Sogomonyan, Yuzbani Vaisha at a 200 bout, Cuban world champion, 3-time world medalist, 3 Pan American Games gold, to beat Naoya Inoue twice in the amateurs as well. And, well, Yafai just set on him like a bull in a china shop, bullied him throughout the course of that. It was still a very, very close fight. Then beat Seykin Bibosumov, the Kazakh, who won the World Championships at the back end of last year as well, all before he got to the final and put on a brilliant display, getting a knockdown early. And he was dominant, one of the best fighters across the whole of the Olympic boxing campaign. Yeah. And, of course, for him, it was high risk, high reward, because he'd have to wait not just 4, but 5 years after falling short in Rio. Big brother Cal, of course, fell short against the Cuban at his Olympic campaign, so he knows the heartbreak of how close but how far away you can still be at the same time. But that gold has rocketed him. But at the age of 29, very sensible to say, right, let's get you in 10 rounders from the start. It's high risk, but of course he has the quality. He's been sparring with world champions, and he could very well go all the way in the next 18 months.
Well, you said the word there, it's high risk but high rewards. I think when you're that good, I've said it before, sometimes it can hinder your development as a pro. When you've campaigned at that high level in the amateurs, then you drop down numerous levels. You know, you can be guilty of dropping your levels and anything can happen. I think it's important that they get put into competitive fights so you can see the best of these fighters and help their development. Look, I think it would be great to manage and promote Galal. The hard part is going to be pulling on the reins slightly, but he's a very mature individual and he understands, though they have slightly rushed him, he can't be completely just pushed into something mega. You know, I think the big box tick was the 10 rounds. To do that straight away, or you know, or be scheduled for it was brilliant, and then to go on and
I think he would need an opponent that can take him those 10 rounds first. That's going to be an important box tick, isn't it? And you know, maybe Gohan Rodriguez Garcia can be the man to do that. But don't hold your breath. Really interesting fight. UK versus Mexico, 3rd on the televised bill, starting in a little while. But we've got 2 fights still to come here on Before the Bell. Young Haque Fiaz and Diego Valtier from País Vasco in Spain will be in the ring shortly. We're just waiting to get word on when they're ready to do their ring. What I'm hearing, they are ready now. So let's hand you over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Etihad Arena here in beautiful Abu Dhabi, live, we are set to go with our next contest. 8 rounds in the super featherweight division. Set to make his ring walk, please welcome Diego Valtier.
Two knockouts. It's quite twitchy, compact with a wide base. Got a really well-earned draw against Kane Baker, former opponent of Haque Fiaz, not so long ago. So we know he's pretty handy. But at this stage, Darren, Haque Fiaz needs a decent test now, doesn't he?
And I think this, look, it's a good test. And I think Haque Fiaz could look good against Valtier. There are some flaws. Though he's tough, though he's durable, he does always look to parry the jab, so he is open to the left hook. And I've been extremely impressed with Haque Fiaz. He's a very, very good fighter.
And now, entering the arena, please welcome the undefeated fighter from Oldham, Haque Fiaz.
Well, Haque Fiaz has had to go from boy to man far more quickly than I think he'd ever anticipated in the last 12 months, losing his mum and his best friend to the coronavirus within mere days of each other. he has shown absolutely remarkable resilience for a young man at 23. He's an Oldham lad in the north of England, the former sparring partner of Carl Frampton, of Zelfa Barrett, who will be in the fight of his life a little bit later on, and he's a current sparring partner of Jack Catterall. And tonight's chief support, Chantel Cameron. He's high-paced, he's aggressive, a really good fighter to watch, and he has been easing himself back into the ring these last few months after a year that sadly has changed his life forever. But he is looking to put double figures in the win column tonight from the UK, young Haque Fiaz.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Etihad Arena here in Abu Dhabi, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special super featherweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Palm Sports, Wow Hydrate, Stagefront, and Experience Abu Dhabi. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From the United Kingdom, Mike Hale. Also from the United Kingdom, Gary Kidanovsky, and from Lebanon, Walid Shahabi. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, from Puerto Rico, referee Luis Pabon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold lettering. He scaled 60 kilograms, bang on. His professional record, 6 victories, 5 defeats, 2 draws, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Algarta, País Vasco, España, Diego Valtier. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the green and red trunks. He scaled 61.3 kilos. His professional record, a perfect one. 9 fights, 9 victories. Fighting out of Oldham, Lancashire, England, Haque Fiaz.
Okay, guys, I give you instruction in your corner. They're having a clean match, okay? Good luck. Le di la instrucción en la esquina, vamos a hacer una pelea limpia. Suerte, Dios lo bendiga.
Thank you. So a final hug with Jamie Moore, the former British and Commonwealth champion. Part of a 2-man corner team with Nigel Travis and brilliant cutsman Kerry Kays. Haque Fiaz in the green, red and white trunks. Diego Valtier from País Vasco in Spain in the black.
Yeah, been very impressed with Fiaz. He's touching it at the top there. Had it very tough outside of the ring recently. So fighting for an awful lot, but stylistically, tactically, technically, he's sound. He's very, very good. Quick hands. He's very good at long range, as you can see here, but inside the pocket, he's also a very good fighter. Valtier's tough, he's game, and always tries his absolute best in there. Always looking to land big shots, but something I did notice in the build-up watching Valtier, he does like to parry the jab, the orthodox jab, so he is open to a left hook, so you'll have to be aware of that because Fiaz really does throw a lovely, sharp, accurate left hook. Nice jab to head and body, good variation.
He's picking him long through the first minute of round number 1. And just occasionally, certainly in the early years of Haque Fiaz, he was just marauding in and sometimes smothering his own work, and occasionally did get caught square by a chap called Daniel Alden, was just kind of dropped on the seat of his trunks, a flash knockdown, and they are starting to really tidy him up technically, Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis, and he is looking a much more complete fighter than we saw 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Still maturing, still only 23. Does need to sit down on his shots a little bit, and I think once he starts doing that, you start seeing the stoppages.
Just looked to set the trap there, didn't he? Deliberately rose the arms up, just gave Valtier with a shot to the body and chopped that right hand down over the top. But I think as Valtier stepped in, just dropped his head down, and Fiaz caught him around the back of the head. No intent there, but Valtier rightly just taking his time. don't know, as much really could be done about that, but the referee just warning him anyway. So Jamie Moore just in the front of the picture there. And they brought him in originally for preparation for Carl Frampton. They wanted someone high-paced and aggressive for the Josh Warrington fight in 2018. He did a number of rounds, stayed, ended up staying for several weeks, and they were so impressed they'd kept him on. And well, we talk about opportunities in the ring, but opportunities in sparring. Darren, if you impress the right people, well, this is proof in the pudding, isn't it?
Well, and you talk about compliments, and it doesn't get much better than that. Being asked to stay just shows how talented the man is and what other top-level pros think of him. Always thinking, see the concentration on his eyes.
Just try and sell him that lead left hook, but Valtier kept the hands tight, lead to the right hand, that time gets through, 20 seconds on the clock. In round number 1, right hand to the body and gets out, low on the exit.
Yeah, good work with the right hand, Fiaz. Good variation again, mixing the angle of the shot coming over the top, arcing the shot down.
Nice clean work from him so far.
Valtier doing the right thing though. He's taking this thing out of the shot, just moving his feet, swaying backwards. But I feel as this fight goes on, the tempo will raise from Fiaz. Good opening round.
Valtier just exiting to his left, taking the brunt of those shots on the gloves. Well, he was back out against Jordan Ellison last time in his 9th fight, 9th win. Tough man, Ellison. It was a mini step up for Fiaz. He won the Northern Area title light welterweight last November. It was in good form. Gave him a little bit to think about early, but Fiaz, naturally a pressure fighter, and did pressure him into submission down the stretch. And just the first signs for me in that fight, Darren, that things are starting to come together, just starting to get that adult strength at 23. And, well, he's got very, very experienced heads in that corner as well.
Yeah, one of the best. Jamie Moore, great guy. Nigel Travis, great team. This man looking a bit dejected already after 1 round.
Couldn't get close, really, could he?
No, he couldn't. He was under the cosh, and there's still more to come from Fiaz.
Well, we see Fiaz just go up a gear here in round number 2. Can Valtier put some pressure on him, get past that stiff lead hand?
You see in the break there, the little clip of Fiaz, and to the naked eye it might not seem like much, but there was some real intelligent work there. He's changing the levels of the shot. You cannot be predictable in boxing. You'll be read easily by your opponent and figured out. Fiaz just showed there that he's always making life difficult for the opponent, switching it up, changing the levels of the shots, and you see there he's got good variation, good artillery of shots.
Just caught a jab from Valtier just a few moments after he landed a little arcing right hand, just changing the trajectory on that. And again, just visited around the side of the guard that time.
He's doing the right thing, Valtier, as far as, well, as I say, that was about to say, keeping the hands up and not parrying the jab of Fiaz. I've seen an awful lot, like I say in the past, it does get caught with left hooks because he's very predictable. So the feint for Fiaz will work well. You'll see that parry and fire back with the left hook, then you can bring the right hand. That's a lovely left to the body, just misses with the uppercut. Good work by Fiaz.
This is the Fiaz that we've come to know, but for Valtier as well, this is his best opportunity to make something of the contest, but he hits a clean right hand that time, looked to fire back with the left hook, but Fiaz was there and then gone.
He's enjoying this, Fiaz. Being dangerous, switched on, understands. It's a big moment for him to entertain out here. Love to get another slot on a card out here. And you do exactly that by impressing, and he's doing that so far. See there, the sharp feet just gliding out of range, just avoiding the jab of Valtier. Lots of rounds to play with here. Fiaz, nice 1-2.
Straightening the right hand up that time. A little bit of variation on that backhand at the moment, just keeping Valtier guessing. The only moments of success for the Spaniard have been when Fiaz has held his feet and decided to shorten the shots up close. But he does like to entertain, and we will get that from time to time in this contest.
That's the only thing for Fiaz in fights like these, is staying switched on for every second. Can't afford to get clumsy. He's in cruise control. Lovely work. 1, 2, followed by the left hook, the jab to the body, the right hand downstairs, and the left hook back upstairs. Beautiful work by Fiaz.
Fiaz sitting down on the jab, hit the 10-second clapper go towards the end of round number 2. Big night for Fiaz here, and in a couple of weeks' time, an even bigger night for the Leeds Warrior, the newly recrowned world champion, Josh Warrington. No easy task that for Josh Warrington. Can he get past Lopez? December 10th, live on DAZN.
Yeah, he'd be very happy with the start. Haque, Nigel and Jamie. Nice, positive approach to this fight. He's been switched on, shown us good variation. Valtier doing his part there, moving out of range, just avoiding the shots, taking the sting out of them, certainly. A nice, sharp, positive start by Haque Fiaz.
Second down, round 3.
So into round 3 of 8. Welcome to those of you that are just joining us. Live here from the Emirates Arena in Abu Dhabi. Watching before the bell, Chris Lloyd here with Darren Barker in the ring. Into round number 3. Haque Fiaz in the green trunks trim with white with the red waistband. Diego Valtier from País Vasco in Spain in the black trunks. Fiaz in control through these first 2 rounds, just keeping things long.
See Valtier now, he's almost got him to that stage, Haque Fiaz, where he's a little bit hesitant to throw his shots.
It's giving him extra space and time, isn't it?
Exactly. He just knows he's going to fire back with a quick counter, Fiaz. Credit to Valtier, he's pushing forward.
Nice jab.
Yep, both exchanging jabs there. This is a moment where the Spaniard, Valtier, needs a response. He was cruising Fiaz, wasn't he? This is his moment. Good work. Showing that he can change his levels and shows a bit of variation.
Fiaz just keeping small up close, just trying to slip and roll those shots, just shoots up the middle, gets himself back to centering nice and quickly. Jab downstairs to the body, just manoeuvres in a flash. Valtier onto the back foot again. That's good ring generalship from Fiaz.
Yep, smart movement. Huge credit to the Spaniard there. Really creeping forward and letting his hands go. He's back on the retreat now. Fiaz looking composed, relaxed. Taking a right hook as he threw his own left hook. Fiaz doubling up that left hook.
Yeah, he landed 2 nice left hooks. Fiaz, Valtier just checked the chin of him, and one landed after that as well. He's taking them well, just stepping on Fiaz again, trying to let his hands go now.
Oh, lovely tap upstairs, drop to the body. Talk about Campbell Hatton.
Good response.
Earlier.
Good response from Valtier though.
Yep. Variation, lovely. Left to the body, right to the body, followed by a right uppercut. Beautiful work by Fiaz. And again, doubling up that left hook, dropping to the body with the last shot. Smart stuff. Still there, Valtier. High guard, taking a lot in the arms. Just missing with that right to the body, Fiaz. Again, you see him, he misses, he steps back, out of range and straight back on Valtier. Little double shuffle with the feet. Putting Valtier back under pressure. You can see that there's not, well, that's lovely, again, double left, that looked like it hurt. Valtier, he just dipped the knee slightly, didn't he?
He hasn't got the speed of feet, has he, to close the distance. Fiaz has got that left hand low, so he's seeing a lot coming. Really only when Fiaz opts to stand and trade, hold his feet, but he gives the Spaniard opportunities. You feel like that still occurs on his terms, so good rounds in the bank so far. He's in cruise control.
Yeah, he just cranked it up, didn't he? But credit to Valtier, so did he. He needed a response after the 2 good opening rounds by Fiaz, and credit to the Spaniard, he tried, but as the round started to progress, you see the the variation from Fiaz. Sharp, accurate, spiteful punching.
A little bit of boxing, a little bit of fighting. We always see the same from Chantel Cameron a little bit later on. Many have got her an easy victor over Jess McCaskill. I think that's doing a huge disservice to what McCaskill's achieved so far, but I think more an indication that Cameron could make easy work of tonight, or easier work if she decides to keep it long on box, but we know that's not what she likes to do.
No, and that's why I feel this is going to be fight of the night. I do. I think styles are going to gel instantly. There's so much at stake. There's a huge pot of gold and a potential fight with the #1 female out there, or arguably the #1 female out there, Katie Taylor. Stakes are very high.
Yeah, another undisputed champion on the way. We had Alicia Baumgartner in the studio a few weeks ago after a brilliant win to become unified champion at super featherweight. She's lining up Kimberly Choi for an encounter at some point next year for the potential of undisputed there. It's good for the health of the sport. Haque Fiaz, a little way to go yet in his career. Still building, still growing, potentially area titles before national titles at some point next year. Just catches a double right hand from Valtier, just leaning on the chest, looking to open up, does so.
Yeah, at the start of this fourth round, it seems Fiaz looking to throw his shots as Valtier throws his. This is really good work. It was two really hurtful left to the body. He's really putting his foot down on the gas. Lovely stuff by Fiaz. Back comes Valtier.
Well, starting to catch fire here as we suspected it would do. Just in the middle round here, 4 of 8. Fiaz putting the shots together well. Valtier got back onto his heels, but gathered himself, fired back. Just turned the chin there of Fiaz.
Good action halfway through this fourth round. Heating up nicely.
Jab to the body, just caught the right hand over the top.
Beautiful work by Fiaz though, wasn't it? Letting about 6, 7, 8 unanswered shots go. It's the variation, the speed and the accuracy of how he lets them go. Very, very impressive. But Valtieri's still there, he's plodding forward, he's holding centre ring.
Yeah, Fiaz will know too after that little rally and several clean shots landed that this man isn't going to go without an easy fight.
Just landed the right hand there. Valtier also. Just a reminder, it's the only thing, when you've got that style, it does have a low lead hand, Fiaz.
Do you like to see him work the body a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly with the jab. I think when they're inside, he lets the bodies go. We see some beautiful double left hooks, haven't we, from Fiaz. You've just got to be careful with that low lead hand as he steps up in quality. The opponent, certainly if he's facing an orthodox fighter, will be looking for the right hand over the top. It really does have a pleasing style on the eye of Fiaz. So relaxed, smooth, comfortable on both front foot and back foot.
I don't think we've seen it in a professional contest so far. We can box southpaw. I'm told on good authority. Maybe one day he'll need it. Just jabs. Valtier back on his heels. Nice right hand from the Spaniard. 5 seconds to go in the round.
Yeah, good round that. Best of the fight so far. There was some lovely body shots from Fiaz. I think just as you said that, Chris, you'd like to see some more body shots from Fiaz. It's almost as if he heard you. And there was it was more than 8 shots. I think it was almost a 10-shot combination there. Really biting down on the gum shield and letting the shots go, but back come Valtier. But look at that, the variation, shots coming in from all angles.
There is a response as well when he's landing those shots to the body. You just see the switch from Valtier, and he does land those short lefts under the elbow.
Tough man, Valtier.
He is. Boxing the youth ABAs for England. He's on the squads from the age of 14. Boxed in England versus USA when he was 18 in Blackpool. Boxed Paddy Donovan in the amateurs, lost on close points decision. At the senior ABA quarters in 2018. He's a solid amateur grounding. So far, a really good, strong professional apprenticeship. He moved around the circuit in the early days on the local promoter Steve Wood up north. And they matched him tough. And it's brought him on well. This is his 10th contest tonight, round 5 of 8. He looks in full control here, Haque Fiaz. Right hand off the jab.
Some nice footwork early on as well, just gliding out of range, avoiding the shots from Valtier. I don't think it'll be long until we see that right hand. He'll take a little step back. As Valtier steps forward, he'll fall over the front foot, the Spaniard, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a right hand come over the top. But he's enjoying this, Fiaz. Certainly, like, you've named it, some of his achievements, what he's done as an amateur, and spoke about it before. He'll want opponents to fire back, make him think, make him work. That would bring out the best of this young man.
Yeah, and it's just changed his posture here, just sitting off Valtier now. That low hand, just inviting him in, using those foot feints just to give himself a little bit of space, trying to, as you say, just draw the Spaniard onto something. It's back to centre ring now, though.
I think, you know, for Valtier and his team, probably the best approach, though very dangerous, is to kind of trade with Fiaz if he wants any opportunity of winning this contest, hoping that he can walk Fiaz onto one, because look, in a boxing match there's only one winner.
I mentioned that Daniel Alder fight earlier on in his career. Just got caught with his feet square on the way in. That right hand put him down. But less than a minute after that, Alder, who's having a standing 8 administered to himself. So Fiaz does respond well. He's been past in the contest. You can just see the feints from that side on camera there. But just caught a 1-2.
Right hand around the side of that left glove of Valtier. Again, taking this thing out the shot, as well as Fiaz has moved out of range. Valtier, though not as classy as Fiaz does it, he's still able to take the step back and take this thing out the shot, like I say. Jab come hook. Valtier, lovely jab, sharp jab by Fiaz. Moving around to his left. He's got to watch that right hand from the Spaniard. Like I say, that low lead guard. When you move into your left, you are walking onto the right hand of an orthodox fighter. Plenty of fight left in the Spaniard.
Yeah, his hand speed looks like it's slowed just a little bit, but still there, and Fiaz hasn't been able to really put a dent in him through these 5 rounds as we head into number 6. Deep breaths from Valtier. Equipped himself pretty well through this contest, though he has been second best throughout.
Well, look, he has been second best, but it's not for a lack of trying. He is trying, and that's what you want to see from an opponent. You don't see someone go into their shell because it's not going their way. He's still trying to win, but not looking like he can do so at the minute, because this man is cruising, looking good. I feel his best chance, like I say, is to try and land a big shot as Fiaz lets his hands go, but this man's too well equipped, I think, to get caught with anything.
Just a reminder, the main card will start live on DAZN here at 9:30 p.m. local time. That's 5:30 p.m. in the UK, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific if you are stateside. An ultimate contest here on before the bell as Haque Fiaz just starting off with a jab, backing up, trying to set a trap for Valtier to walk onto. Just launching with that left hook. Fiaz just turns him nicely, gets back to centre ring.
Like I said at the top of this fight, the feint from Fiaz will draw out the parry from Valtier, and we've seen that straight away at the start of this 6th round. So a few more feints, you see it again. Valtier looks to parry the jab. That's when you put the left hook round, you can follow it up with a right hand.
But also here, he's kind of drawing the lead, hopping out of range, but he's not anchoring and coming back with anything. It's all one thing making the opponent miss, but at some point you've got to line up a shot that makes him pay, and he hasn't done that, Fiaz, in the last couple of rounds. The Spaniard is there to be hit when he does come forwards. Not easy to prize out of his shell. There it is. There's the counter right hand, right on cue. He must have heard us. But that was the shot that he's been just trying to line up, and he landed it perfectly. Back on the jab.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be long till we see that right hand after the step back. Following up with a jab. There's that feint again. Just got to start working off that, like you said. It doesn't need to be predictable. You can't always throw off of the feint, but left to the body again. You just see a slight dip of the knees of Valtier. He really is as tough as whole boots.
Very good. Admire now, keep chipping away, son.
That's certainly something he's got to be aware of. Valtier, he can't be clumsy, he can't pour out that jab like he did there for a jab to the body, but Gamely comes forward now with 3 shots. Lands a right hook around the side of the glove of Fiaz.
The rare moments though does get Fiaz pinned to the ropes. He finds a way back to centre ring without too much difficulty. Just caught a couple of shots on the turn there, rode them on the shoulder. His ring positions look really good so far tonight.
Doesn't have to do anything silly, Fiaz, but I would like him to just go through the gears slightly. You see how exciting and how spiteful and how good he is when he really lets his hands go like this. Gets the crowd going, really gets them off their seats. Get the reaction from Valtier as well, who gamely starts firing back here, but
he seems to want to respond when
he does.
When he's hit clean, and Fiaz now just starting to sit down, put some pressure on him, lean on the chest, push him back into the corner with 10 seconds on the clock. Valtier lets the hands go, just holds for a moment.
Beautiful.
Fiaz starting to set those little pull counter right hands up off the opponent's lead, but he's setting everything up off the jab so far, Darren.
Yep, smart boxing. He's got a man in front of him in Valtier who really wants this. He's just second best in every department. He's trying. You see there's that reaction to the feint. Opted not to throw off of it there, Fiaz, but he's enjoying himself in there. Like I say, he'll be happy that Valtier is tough and looking to throw shots back. These are the sort of opponents that help your progression as a professional.
He's making him think his way through the contest rather than just being able to kick the front door down. 2 rounds to go. Haque Fiaz, for those of you just joined us in the green trunks with the red waistband, just in control through 6. Diego Valtier has played his part in the contest as well, in the black trunks with the gold lettering. Can he flip this on his head? Just tries a wild overhand right, misses by some weight. Fiaz again with that low lead hand, just seeing a lot coming at the moment.
It was like one of the England cricket bowlers this morning, Chris.
Got the win today, didn't they?
Into the semis we go.
Just a nice feint there, just buying Fiaz a little bit of space again, as you say, just drawing that parry.
Make him pay after that, as soon as he's coming in.
He's always creeping forward, Fiaz. Looking to land the big shots. Just lifting his chin slightly as he's throwing that jab, but nice and sharp. There's that right hand again as he steps out of range.
I think Valtier kind of knows it's coming, but there's not a lot he can do about it, and he's got to commit something. Double jab to the body. Nice left hook there.
Yeah, it was.
The lead from Valtier. Fiaz just tucks up, gets in close, works away. Lovely uppercut.
That was nice, Chris. Right hook followed by a right uppercut. It's always the correct shot. You either throw the uppercut, then go wide with the hooks. Oh, there's that left to the body again. Yeah, when he lets his shots go in bursts, 4s and 5s, he really is a very good fighter. I mean, he's full stop, but as a fan sitting down watching Fiaz go through the gears is
the mouth open of Valtier, Darren, after that exchange, and I did just think there was a response from one of the body shots in that little exchange that Valtier's just gone a little bit flat. He's willing himself forwards here, eats an uppercut through the middle, lands a right hand in response. Just wonder if that took a little bit of something out of him.
like I was saying before, when you throw in the hooks and then following up with an uppercut and vice versa, the uppercut followed by a hook, it's all about closing the guard and opening the guard, and that allows you to find the openings. That's why you usually see, like I say, you might see a right uppercut and straight away see a left hook. Right hook from Valtier.
Yeah, Fiaz looked for the catch and counter, just sailed over the top.
Oh, there's that left.
Keeping a small target, left under the elbow, right hand down the middle. Again, he takes them really well. Fiaz starting to sit down on these shots, but struggling still to put a dent in him. Uppercut through the middle.
Oh, he's done his ab work, Valtier.
Done his sit-ups, yeah.
He really has.
Done his Pilates, but Fiaz starting to sit down on the shots. Lands
right hand.
Chopping right hand.
That hurt Valtier, that right hand right at the end there. You see the leg stiffen slightly.
Slow back to his corner with a round to go in our penultimate contest here on Before the Bell. But Jamie Moore will be, I think, pleased with the way he's progressed through the rounds. Has started just slowly to go through the gears, making that jab and the singles early, keeping the distance. But since then, he started to build the combinations off of the back of that. It's been an intelligent, measured 8-round performance from Fiaz so far. We saw some good action in that round.
You took the word out of my mouth there. It's intelligence, ring IQ, it's smart. He's setting traps. The tapping upstairs with the left hook and dropping it to the body, as you see there. Beautiful stuff. There's that right hand just taking a little step back. And again, working the body. He knows the target's there, and that's why I've got huge respect. I have to give tremendous amounts of credit to Valtier, because he's taken some big lefts to the body. The knees have dipped several times, but he hasn't gone down. He's still there, and he's still trying. Huge credit to Valtier.
So 8th and final round then. Really accomplished performance this. Haque Fiaz, can he put final punctuation on it in the next 2.5 minutes? Credit to Diego Valtier, who's held firm so far. Looked a little bit dazed in that round, a little slower, like something was just taken out of the tank. They exchange a stiff pair of jabs.
Yeah, it's been a good 7 rounds so far. To the early stages of the 8th round, but it's been a good workout for Fiaz. There's an awful lot to like about him. You look at him, you think, you know, how could he be beaten? How could he improve on? What could he improve on? Just has to stay switched on. Sometimes does switch on and gets caught with the odd shot.
Just dropped the head off the line there, found that left to the body again.
I like this as he's creeping forward. He's just bringing that left hand up. Lovely left hook. But generally, you look at him and I think he's been very tough to beat. There's still maturing to do. There's still time to develop and learn. Double left hook again. That's been very impressive throughout. Slipping and sliding, enjoying himself. We've seen bits on the back foot, on the front foot. Just taking a right hand from Valtier, who gamely still trying.
Yeah, nothing wrong with his conditioning, is it? The Spaniard.
Another vicious left to the body.
Fiaz stepping around him still. He fights for centering. He must know he's behind these last 7 rounds, but Valtier is still trying. Just catches a left hook counter. Fiaz stays on the ropes, looking for openings, finds an uppercut through the middle, dips and slips and spins his man into the corner. Lovely work. He has worked beautifully off the ropes and out of the corners throughout these last 8 rounds. He puts the hands together again. That last minute of the contest, and the crowd here in Abu Dhabi in full voices. The fighters respond. They stand and trade. Valtier just chipping away, trying to snatch something of this contest out of the death here. And Fiaz just pushes his man back. Underhooks, walks him to the rope, showing he's the stronger of the two. And again, just holding that range, looking to establish that jab again. Uppercut through the middle off the left hook to the body.
Beautiful variation. Really, really pleasing on the eye. But Valtier, he can be so proud of himself. He really can. It's been a tough night's work for him, but he's tried throughout. He always looks at land lefts and rights of his own. How he stayed on his feet for those left to the body, I do not know. Good entertaining 8 rounds.
3-4 left hooks there from Haque Fiaz to punctuate a really good 8-round workout. Credit to that man, Diego Valtier, who gave as good as he could. But he was second best all night long. And he takes a deep breath in because he was hit with some body shots along the way there. For Haque Fiaz, the result can be in no doubt. He will move to 10-0 here in Abu Dhabi.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action here at the Etihad Arena, we go to the judges' score totals. Mike Hale and Waleed Shahabi both scored about 80-72. Gary Kidanowski scores about 79-73. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated, Haque Fiaz.
Moves the win column into double figures after the toughest year and a half of his young life. And it's really good to see him not only back in the boxing ring consistently this year, but improving as well. He'll go away, relax and enjoy Christmas with the team and the family that is around him. And on to, I think, probably area or English title next year, would you imagine, Darren?
Absolutely, he's ready for that now. It's a good 8 rounds under his belt, a successful trip to Abu Dhabi on a huge card. The team himself can be very happy with the job done. You know,
Jack Catterall on the far right there. Sorry to interrupt you, Darren. Who will be, we think, rescheduling that contest with Josh Taylor. And well, we hate to talk about the kind of, I suppose, the wooden spoon of achievements this year, but he will win robbery of the year, I think, Catterall, after what was certainly, in the eyes of the vast majority, victory, and should see him as the undisputed champion at 140 pounds at present. He gets another bite at, well, not the undisputed titles now, of course, but an opportunity against Josh Taylor again next year. So a really, really good team. 1 win down, 1 to go. Chantel Cameron to come a little bit later on. And there is the winner of the third contest before the bell, Haque Fiaz. He's standing by with Jamie Ward.
Haque, congratulations from Oldham Leisure Centre to the Etihad Arena here in Abu Dhabi in just 10 fights. How do you assess the fight and your own performance tonight as well?
Yeah, good performance. Good to be out on a show like this. I just want to say a massive thank you. I know they get a lot of stick. Eddie and Frank Smith, listen, these guys have been great to me. What an opportunity out here. I've enjoyed every minute all week. And yeah, it's been great. And next we get an undisputed champion in the gym.
Valtier, a very tough man. You hit him with just about everything you had tonight. Some nice variety in there from you this evening. You did everything you could to get the stoppage, but couldn't quite force it over the line tonight. Yeah,
it was a good performance. It showed a bit of everything. A lot of stuff that we've been working on in the gym come together on the night, and feel like that's what it is for me now. Just getting it together on the night, because I've got it all in the tank. It's just about delivering on fight night, yeah.
You've been through a very tough year, Haque, away from the boxing gym, away from the ring as well. How much have you been able to channel those difficult times, though, into motivation and seeing the best of you in your ring as well?
You know what, I'm not just saying it because you guys are here, but every time I saw you guys round, when I was out of shape, I was a fat mess, really. I lost the love for the sport, really. And coming to the show, seeing you guys, showing me love, these guys in the gym, Jamie and Nigel, you know, they saved my life. And I'm thankful to all of you, all my travelling support. I love every single one of you. Thank you for making noise and making me feel at home.
I'm just going to grab a quick word with Jamie Moore, who's just stood here to your right, Haque. Jamie, every time I speak to one of your fighters, they say no one truly understands the impact that yourself and Nigel have on them as people. They become extended members of the fighters' family. How proud are you to see Haque smile back in his face in a performance like that tonight?
Of course, yeah, massively proud of him. Steve Wood has done a great job managing, you know, bringing him along and getting in the right matches. Eddie's given him the opportunities like this. But yeah, it's a team effort. Everyone in the gym was there to support him, and we've come through the other side now and we can move on.
And there's been talk of domestic titles all week. Akib, for you, is that the aim for 2023?
Yeah, just activity in there. That's my first 8 round in a long time. So just, getting back in there, getting the ring fitness back up again. Yeah, I feel like I'm not too far away. I'm developing just right. Having the right fights at the right time is what it's all about, yeah.
And you just gave a brief shout out to your supporters. Great support for you in the arena tonight. There's pockets of your supporters scattered all around here. You've also got a huge support back home in Oldham. I know everyone will be watching back home. Do you have a message for all your supporters back home tonight to wrap up?
I love all of you guys. The times you're going through at home is difficult. Everyone's struggling at the moment, and these guys have spent their hard-earned money to come over here. So, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all.
Grab a quick word with Eddie Hearn also. Eddie, domestic titles, the talking point. Do you see that as a realistic aim for next year for Akib?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think they're shouting. I don't know what they're shouting. No, not booing. I think they're asking for a fight, specific fight. We'll see. I think maybe Campbell Hatton. Yeah, I think one day down the line that's going to fill the MEN. It's a great performance. It's been a really tough year for him. And not many people see what goes on behind the scenes. And, the troubles that some fighters have, in their personal lives while they're trying to prepare for fights. And we're really proud of him, the way he's battled away this year with a great performance. Tremendous support come over from the UK, tremendous support here in Abu Dhabi for the first ever World Championship fight here, and big things in 2023. We're going to move up to 10 rounds, domestic fights, domestic titles, domestic fights as well, and a good end to the year, a tough year for Akib Fiaz.
Campbell Hatton obviously just in action. He's 9-0. Akib just moved 10-0 tonight. You mentioned his name there. It's not unrealistic, is it, for the future?
No, it's not. I mean, look, Campbell is certainly learning the game. He's at an earlier stage of his development than Akib Fiaz, but sooner or later he's going to be stepping up to 8 rounds himself. Genuinely, that's a fight that if they both get to British title level, European title level, that will fill Manchester Arena. He's got massive support. Obviously, Campbell has as well. And you've got to look at those domestic fights as you're coming through the ranks. And Campbell's still learning the game. Akib's one step ahead now, moving on to domestic titles, probably English title, and looking at British title eliminators. But one day, hopefully, that'll be a massive fight. And this young man has great support, and we're looking forward to a big future for him.
Final one from you, Akib. Undisputed fight tonight, Chantel Cameron, Jessica McCaskill. Do you have a message of support for her this evening?
Honestly, the writing's on the wall. It's going to be a great night. Chantel's going to become the undisputed champion of the world. 1,000,000%.
Akib Fiaz, 10-0. Congratulations. Well done.
Well, what a brilliant young man, and big shout to Jamie Ward as well. First night on the reporter shift. That was a fantastic post-fight interview. He'll be one to watch for the future as well. Lovely to hear from Akib Fiaz after such a difficult year, as you heard there. And of course, him and Campbell Hatton know each other from the old amateur days. They were at Northside Boxing Club together. They sparred in the early days, and I think it's not a bad shout to maybe match them two up a little bit later down the line. But very comprehensive win from Akib Fiaz ahead of a big night for his stablemate Chantel Cameron, as she boxes Jessica McCaskill for undisputed at 140. But Darren, it was an accomplished performance as we've seen from young Fiaz so far in his 10-fight career.
Yeah, it was a very good performance, disciplined, mature. He was sharp, he was spiteful, he showed us a bit of everything on the back foot, on the front foot. He really mixed up the shots, and what I was impressed with was just the thought in the work, the steps back, looking for the right hand. When he put his shots together in 8, 9, 10, punch combination, it really was pleasing on the eye, as you see there. The double left hook, I mean, we said it there, credit to Valtier for staying on his feet, because they looked like real spiteful shots to the body, really turning in to the shot. And he can be proud of himself, so can Valtier. Successful trip to Abu Dhabi, and the Akib Fiaz journey continues.
It certainly does. And, well, a huge night ahead, starting on DAZN, not too far away now. We have one more contest before the bell, Sultan Al-Nuami and Sohaib Haque to come on before the bell before we head over to our live broadcast. Top of the bill, of course, and what everybody is here to see is the next defence of Dmitry Bivol's WBA light heavyweight world title in one of the biggest challenges of his career so far. For Zurdo Ramirez, undoubtedly the biggest challenge of his night so far. Last victory for for Ramirez at light heavyweight was part of 5 opponents that he's faced. He's coming up to 175. A very overmatched Dominic Bocel, who he stopped him for, hurt him to the body early. But a lot of these opponents that Ramirez has faced in these 5 since moving up, some decent names: Tommy Carpentry, of course, Uni Gonzalez, Sullivan Barrera as well, but 39 years of age, Sullivan Barrera, guys with slower feet that are there to be hit, that he can put his hands together against. He's got to hurt Bivol to the body early. You'd expect to try and slow those feet down and have him in front of him, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to pin him down, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just, he's in there with a guy that jabs so well, moves so well, and like we've said numerous times, to land those big body shots, you want to make sure that lead hand lands first. But he's going to be beaten to the jab, I would have thought, majority of the time. I think he's got to be aggressive on the front, but he's got to try and pin Bivol where he wants him. Look, he may get this right tonight. I'm not saying he can't do it. I do favour Bivol, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're saying tomorrow morning Ramirez is one of the big guys, the big new stars out there. Though he's had 44 fights and he's beaten some good names, but he hasn't beaten, in my opinion, the elite level fighters. He beat an Arthur Abraham that was at the tail end of his career. Giovanni Lorenzo, some good names, you know, some good fighters, but not Canelo's. Be it Canelo, super middleweight, nonetheless, he's beaten the man. Bivol's beaten the man, so he is now the man who everybody wants to fight. I want to see Bivol Beterbiev. It's been a fight that's been spoken about a long time. I wouldn't mind seeing Ramirez Beterbiev, but I just feel there's just an edge. There's a little bit more from Bivol, but like I say, I wouldn't be shocked. That's why this main event is brilliant.
How will he respond if he is in a mini crisis? The only time really we've seen him hurt was at the end of round 11 against, I think he's in round 10 actually, against Joe Smith Jr. back in 2019. Bivol in complete control of the American, was just caught with a right above the ear, just on that bell, just dropped his hands and switched off for a split second. He staggered back to his corner, but the response in the following round, they had 60 seconds rest, was a remarkable one. He got back to it, he kept the distance, he kept on his feet, and then in the 12th round he was dominant again. So we know that when he's hurt he has the mindset of a champion. And when you think back to fighters, we talked about the differential in his thrown to landed percentages and how unhittable he is. You think of Floyd Mayweather, and in his career there are only a very, very small handful of examples. Mayweather Mosley round 2 where he was badly hurt, and how quickly he went into survival mode and how brilliantly he saw out that round and turned the tables on Mosley. It's very hard to know what the elite fighters are like in a crisis because we see it happen so rarely. But for Bivol tonight, we could learn a little bit about him in crucial moments of this contest.
Ramirez showed those traits of a champion. Bivol may have to this evening. When I look at this fight, it really does get the juices flowing, just because I feel there's so many ways, pros and cons to how each fighter could win or lose the fight. I'm pretty sure, for me, talking about Ramirez again, they would have worked an awful lot on speed in the build-up to this fight. Speed of foot, speed of hand, because if they've got any chance of winning this, they've got to be first to the shot.
Because he has struggled a little bit with movers in the past, Ramirez. Jesse Hart comes to mind. He was a different type of fighter entirely, a big fighter, a strong fighter, but used the outside of the ring well in the second contest. He kind of said, looking back on the fights of Ramirez, I feel like he doesn't necessarily enjoy pressure himself. Bivol, he's not a volume puncher, but he pressures you in different ways with the feet, like the Ukrainians as well, and mentally that can be draining.
And he wants the last say of the argument. Though he might step out of range, Bivol, he'll always fire back in. He doesn't, it's almost like he's got a mental calculator going on. If he gets caught with one, he'll fire back with 2. He's not predictable with it, but he'll always make a note that, look, I've got to get you back twice. He always fires back, and he's got a real heart of a champion, and that's why we've seen him be so successful straight away. You know, I feel people do judge him at times. Maybe not now because he's beating Canelo, but you know, the performance against Craig Richards, and this is not taking anything away from Craig Richards, but you look at Bivol, you think he's a world champion, and it was a big step up for Craig Richards, and maybe a lot of people feel like he underperformed, or he wasn't this superstar that everyone was kind of hoping, but then he goes and beats Canelo. You can never write Bivol off. He's such a good fighter.
It's a fascinating encounter. Light heavyweight WBA World Championship on the line in our main event. But up next, Sultan Al-Nuami, one of 3 Emirati fighters on the card tonight against Sohaib Haque from Calcutta in India. Both fighters are ready to ring walk, so without further ado, let's get over to David.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Etihad Arena, Abu Dhabi, live on DAZN, we are now set to go with a special super flyweight special attraction. Set to make his ring walk. Please welcome Shoaib Haque. To make his ring walk, please welcome the undefeated fighter from Dubai, UAE, Sultan Al-Nuami. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Etihad Arena here in Abu Dhabi, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Palm Sports, Wow Hydrate, Stagefront, and Experience Abu Dhabi. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From the United Kingdom, Mike Hale. Also from the UK, Gary Kitinovsky, and from Mexico, Juan Carlos Pelayo. And at the sound of the belt, your third man in the ring from the United Kingdom, referee Shahzad Junab. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the black trunks with the gold trim. He scaled 53.5 kilos. His professional record, 4 wins against 2 defeats. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Calcutta, India, please welcome Shoaib Haque. Haque. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white trunks with the gold trim. He also scaled at an even 53.5 kilos. His professional record, a perfect one. 8 fights, 8 victories, 5 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Dubai right here in the UAE, introducing Sultan Al-Nuami. Al-Nuami.
Bring it in, boys. Okay, guys, we went over the rules in the changing room, okay? So make sure you give me a good, clean fight. Anything up to the navel up is good. Watch the kidney punches and the rabbit punches. And most of all, protect yourself at all times. Good luck.
So 8 rounds of super flyweight action. This one, though, agreed just under the 118-pound limit. Both came in 117.9. Late replacement Shoaib Haque from Calcutta in India. In the black trunks trimmed with gold. Credit to him for saving the opportunity for Sultan Al-Nuami to box in front of his home crowd here in the UAE. He's all in white with the gold trim.
I like what I've seen from Al-Nuami. Only seen a few fights, but he likes to put pressure on his opponents on the front foot, as you can see here.
Well, I take it back as well, saying that Shoaib Haque would be a little undersized. He doesn't look it at all. Not easy to find fighters late notice that are fit, ready to make weight. But he looks in good condition. You can tell he's been training.
And he comes to fight. He really does.
He does, yeah.
I've seen him in his couple of his previous fights, Haque, and he's tough. He's always looking to put a dent in his opponent. Does get wild and wide with the right hand, but I feel that's only because he has a real desire to win.
It's counter left hook from him there.
Yeah. He can make it difficult for opponents. He jumps out of range. You see there, just swaying backwards as well.
He too has got nice balance. He's a patient fighter as well. Al-Nuami just walking anti-clockwise around the outside of the ring, just measures with the jab as he steps back.
It's a nice variation of the jab from Al-Nuami. I watched his 6th fight against Sahil Rahman. There's an awful lot of head hunting in that fight. Didn't target the body at all, and doesn't look as if he's trying to target that body. Certainly with the jab anyway, but Haque, like I said before, he's tough. Look, he's trying to hold that centre of the ring, what he is currently now, always trying to throw that big right hand.
Combination punching from Al-Nuami. Get the hands high and tight, just comes back with a double jab. You see from Al-Nuami, kind of a hallmark of the amateurs, that sort of two-phase attack. He'll happily lead off first and then take his head off the line to make the opponent miss, and then come back with 2 off that counter. And he's sharp.
And Haque as well, from the fights that I've seen, it's almost as if you've got to beat the fight out of him. He will be there throughout unless you really put it on him and work away, and you've almost got to make him feel sorry for himself.
He's made a decent start so far, Shoaib Haque, and just the edge in hand speed to Al-Nuami probably being the difference in this round so far. But he'll know he's in against an opponent of decent quality, which he should be for his 9th contest. As approached, missing a little short with that jab. With a couple of seconds to go at the end of round number 1. Nice sharp technical opener from both fighters.
It looks like he's tidied up slightly, Haque. Not as wild with that right hand, and like I said before, the only reason he does really swing that shot in is because he really does have that will to win. Good work from Al-Nuami, but Haque comfortable under the cosh there, taking him on the gloves.
Just maybe as this fight draws on, be interesting to see how the late travelling from Haque. It's not miles, Calcutta. It's not as far as we probably think it is, being based in the UK. But of course, coming over late notice, I'm sure you know yourself, you like to have a little bit of time to settle in, reacclimatise, let your body clock adjust. He hasn't really had that, and it could be, if this fight starts to go down the stretch, that's where we see the difference between the pair of them. But let's not anticipate too much, because he made a decent start there. To the centre of the ring they come in for round number 2 as the corner teams make their exit. Al-Nuami, the white, Haque from Calcutta, the black and gold, for a left hook there.
Looking to exchange with Al-Nuami. Haque might be a wise decision, if I'm honest. I feel he may have the edge in power that might sound silly, as Al-Nuami does have 5 stoppages, but it's just something in Haque that when he lets his shots go, he commits to the shot, he doesn't hold back, and that's why I feel maybe best off trying to exchange with Al-Nuami. But he touched on it in the opening round, he does have the edge in hand speed. Al-Nuami working the jab nicely, following up with a right hook around the left guard.
Measure that distance well, hasn't he? Just half an inch out of range of those counters coming back from Shoaib Haque, who's just been on the end of the long shots through the first minute.
Again, the feint, I think, would work a treat for Al-Nuami to draw out that lead. He's always, as I say, looking to exchange with the man from the UAE. And he can fire back with his crisp counters. Just the 2 jabs. So much on the line. You know, I know we've only had a handful of fights each, but we talk about, again, what Eddie and obviously trying to do out here. Opportunities, and there's opportunities for not only Al-Nuami, but for someone like Haque from India, probably doesn't get many opportunities at all. Good work from Al-Nuami. Finishing with the left to the body, but back comes Haque.
Putting the hands together to the head, going to the body as well.
Yeah, it's better.
Switch to southpaw from Haque, just lead to that left backhand.
Trying to make life difficult for Al-Nuami, making him think.
Yeah, just wonder though with it, just allowed to set that right hand up a little easier though. Just pouring in that jab to measure the range, see how close he is.
That's the shot against the southpaw, the straight right down the middle. Let's see if Al-Nuami will look for that.
I think he's trying to draw Haque onto.
Yeah, he is.
Just trying to almost set him up, isn't he? Leave that lead hand low. Bring him in with something, but that left hand just fizzing down the middle. Didn't miss by much, the Indian. It's cagey stuff since he switched. Both fighters just trying to work out how it's going to affect the situation in the ring. Another breaking left hand lands from Shoaib Haque then. Check left hook as he stepped around in there from Al-Nuami. 10-second clapper sounds. bit of success with that left hand since he switched.
I do feel he's better offensively out of the orthodox stance, but certainly landed a couple of long, wide left hooks. It was a good response from Haque. Edged Al-Nuami in that opening round. Haque fought well. Nice high guard there, taking them with ease. Opting not to fire back, but he did in that occasion with the left hand from the southpaw stance.
I wonder if he might stay right hand facing forwards as he comes out for this round, because he probably landed cleanest shots he's landed of the contest so far.
Just giving Al-Nuami something else to think about.
And of course, the flip side to this is, although Al-Nuami's had a proper camp for this and known about this for a few weeks, he wasn't preparing for this man. He won't really know anything about him, so he will be kind of learning things out about him in real time. So he's an element of caution to his work as well here. So interesting first couple of rounds between these two. Probably ahead by a hair, but decent last round from Haque. Landed some good shots. He stays southpaw as he comes out for round number 3.
Yeah, he did land a couple of left hooks, Haque, so expect to see a few more of those at the start of this round. Gonna have to keep that left hand up, Al-Nuami.
Just a little out of range with that left hand down Al-Nuami.
And he's bringing it back to his chest, so if Haque was to go back to orthodox, it would be the right hand over the top of that jab. You see, fires straight back to his chest. You know, when you're throwing a jab, certainly when you're in range, it's got to go down the line, but it's got to come back down that line, back to your chin. Against top opposition, you will get countered. Went a bit tall there, Haque, just missing that left hook.
Lovely left hook to the body, just off the 1-2. Quick hands.
Struggling to get into a bit of a rhythm, aren't they? Because falling short of the jab.
He hasn't quite caught fire. Neither fighter's really pressed the issue so far. Al-Nuami looks, relatively speaking, in control in these early stages, holding centering, kind of dictating where the action is taking place, but he hasn't really forced the issue. Will he do so as the rounds tick by? Haque goes back to orthodox now.
He's got to try and creep forward like he's doing now, Haque. He's never winning this fight on the back foot. He's got to try and creep forward and land that right hand. He's done well, Al-Nuami, just sliding out of range, taking the sting out of the shot. Good work. But again, taking on the glove. Gloves by Haque. 1-2 little corking screw shot with the left hand, followed up with another right. Moving out of range nicely, Haque. Again, we've just seen a lot of head hunting from Al-Nuami in this third round.
He does let the hands go, just keeping that guard nice and narrow. Has to ride the best of it. Nice counter left hook from him.
And that's when you drop down to the body. Say there's a lot of head hunting. It's fine if you're going to throw 4 shots to the body, but that's when you've got your opponent's guard high, then you drop to the body.
So tit for tat through the early stages of this contest. Al-Nuami, I'd just say, just about in charge of the action, looks comfortable, but at the same time hasn't really grabbed the fight by the scruff of the horn so far, the scruff of the neck so far.
No, he hasn't. But yeah, just edging it. He didn't respond as much as I thought he might, Haque, in that round. He was just forced back a little bit and didn't let his hands go as much. Started the round in the southpaw stance, but didn't have any success with that left hand.
So lots of action still to come when we start proceedings. 9:35 local time here in Abu Dhabi, about 45 minutes from now on DAZN, wherever you are around the world. Into the 4th round of 8 here in our final contest on before the bell at the Emirates Arena in Abu Dhabi. Sultan Al-Nuami in the white trunks trimmed with gold. Shoaib Haque, the late replacement from India, giving a really good account of himself through the first 3 rounds. We are just joined, I would say, on the commentary desk, but we're still in the studio, standing up. It's an interesting experience. This by light heavyweight contender Joshua Buatsi. Had a brilliant win over Craig Richards last time out. Was scheduled to fight John Pascal. But that one has fallen through, so we await news of what is next for you, Joshua. But good to see you. Good to have you with us.
Yes, sir. Definitely nice to be out here. We're standing, we're healthy. Can't complain. But
well, you two, just about, yeah.
That's why I laughed. But I'll tell you what, you said, you mentioned I was meant to be against Pascal at the end of this month. But ironically, I was meant to be fighting on this date, as we know.
Yes.
November the 5th against Bivol. But I'm
boxing
on the
never straightforward, is it?
Never straightforward. I'm on the sideline, but still, you know, happy to be here to watch and to see what's going on.
We're happy to have you here as well. Happy to have you both alive after rolling a sand. What do you call them? A buggy? A desert buggy?
Dune buggy.
Yeah, I did warn him about Joshua Buatsi's driving, but he didn't listen.
You weren't wrong. Put it this way, to the viewers that haven't seen it, I had to brush a lot of sand out of my hair. Let's put it that way.
That's all. It was in the desert, Darren.
Yeah, soft landing, thank goodness.
Yeah, it took a tumble, that's for sure. Good work by Haque.
Yeah, just started to put some pressure on him, isn't he, now?
He needed that response. In that 3rd round, he was just a little bit lazy, getting pushed back. But now he's responding.
I tell you, for a late replacement, I think he's better than the original and maybe surprising Al-Nuami a little bit here. Giving a really good account of himself so far. It's not a great deal in the contest. Certainly don't think he's necessarily ahead, but he is right in the fight as we approach the halfway mark. 1 minute to go in round number 4. Sultan Al-Nuami in the white trunks, Shoaib Haque in the black.
Would you like to get out here again, Josh, fight one of these shows?
Yeah, it's very different, Darren. I think the crowd are warming up to it. It's a nice experience, even from a boxer's point of view. You can get carried away if you're not fighting, but when you're fighting, it's fight week. You're obviously in a mindset of a fight, but it's very different atmosphere, different crowd. But it would be nice to box out here, man. It's hot, so for us that have to make weight, we can laugh about it. But yeah, no, it's different, man. It's very nice for those that haven't been here.
Another close round as Al-Nuami just puts the hands together, uppercut through the middle, just pushing Shoaib Haque onto the back foot as we close out the seconds in this round. And Dmitry Bivol and yourself, of course, Josh, have a common opponent, one after the other in London and Craig Richards, who highly underrated fighter. You both got past in different fashions, and I spoke to Craig Richards about you two. He said, I think it would be a very close fight. Have you spoken to Bivol Ramirez, introduce yourself this week, and what do you make of this fight later tonight?
You know what, I haven't met them. I was close to getting to the changing room before the fight, but I said if I were preparing for a fight in my changing room, would I want to see a possible opponent? I said nah, so I wouldn't do that to them, but I'll make sure I meet them before I leave here. But yeah, Spider's been in with both of us. Not sure what he said about it, but yeah, he's been in with both of us.
He said you're a slightly spiteful puncher. He said Bivol's timing is maybe marginally more difficult to read. He said you're there perhaps to be hitting ways that Bivol isn't, but I think he had a harder fight against you than Bivol. But that is Bivol's style. It's safety first. He's not easy to hit clean and land against. He's a tricky opponent for anybody at light heavyweight, isn't he?
100%. He's been champion. I think this is his 8th fight or 8th defense. So yeah, he knows what he's doing. But again, if you're in there, I'm not there to think about that. I believe my style and how I am will beat that guy.
Could Joshua Buatsi be a light heavyweight contender in championship action at some point in 2023? It looks likely, and it's a brilliant division. WBA title on the line in our main event here in Abu Dhabi.
But this is better from Al-Nuami. Throwing that left to the body. Again, Haque trying to force Al-Nuami on the back foot, which I think we need to see him do. He's not winning this on the back foot, so he needs to be aggressive on that front foot, trying to land the left of his own to the body. Haque just falling short a couple of times with the shots as does Al-Nuami there. Touching it before. He can be crafty with his feet, Haque. Just slides out of range. Just not quick enough to land his counters.
Ooh, little left hook exchange there, and Haque got the better of it, just rocked Al-Nuami back onto his heels. Just pulls the jab out, looks for it to the body as well.
Yeah, a little high there, square on. Took a shot, he was off balance. Too much hurt.
Haque starting to put the shots together here, really turning through them as well.
You know, we're talking about the progress of these fighters, how they improve. And I think offensively, letting the hands go, they're good fighters, but again, I know you talk about us back home, but the depth of quality in sparring means that you're going to be under the cosh in the gym.
Because Eddie Hearn was talking this week about potentially setting up some kind of performance centre here in Abu Dhabi, and if that brings British fighters and European fighters over, could offer sparring opportunities for these young men to improve.
Well, it changes the game. Josh, you know all about this, and the GB set up the EIS in Sheffield, as we know back home.
Well, and of course it's moving stateside, right?
Stateside, exactly, and that's sparring.
What's funny is that I was talking about this with Dina. I said this is an amazing place to live, but I said if you're a professional athlete, I don't think you'd benefit from it. Just as you guys said, the level of sparring and competition you'd get isn't quite there yet, but I think it's in a very good developing stage. But you're right, I think the quality of opponents and people to train with and spar isn't there yet.
Well, I think, like you say there, Chris, the way you entice those fighters to come out for training camps, etc., would be a centre of excellence like that, where you could get different fighters, different weights, people coming in from all over the world. That's how these guys will improve as fighters. Crucial, I think, for their development.
I don't think people would have to live it though, because see, when I'm in London, I could call, for example, Dan Izzy's Dan, on Wednesday I need 8 rounds. You got it? He's like, yeah, I'll be there. But if people are coming to a centre, you're having to bank on them to be in the country or in the city. So I think that they're a while away, but I could see it getting there.
Yeah, it's a long-term plan, isn't it? Right here, we're in a decent scrap as we enter the second half of the contest. That was the left hook counter from Haque that just rocked Al-Nuami back onto his heels.
That was a nice combination at the end there. Jab, long left hook, right hand, opening up the guard of Haque.
Starting to fill up here in the arena as well, in the early stage of the evening that we're at. All the action on the broadcast card starting in just over half an hour's time from now, live on DAZN. Khalid Yafai, the former WBA super flyweight world champion, now campaigning at 118. His brother, Olympic gold medalist from Tokyo, Galao, in 10-round action against Gohan Garcia from Mexico. Majid Al-Nakbi, one of the 3 Emirati fighters on the card, is in against the Philippines' John Lawrence Ordonio. Zelfa Barrett and Shavkat Rakimov contesting the vacant IBF super featherweight world title over 12 rounds. One of them will walk away as world champion tonight. Chantel Cameron and Jess McCaskill, what an opportunity for them. Undisputed at 140 in our chief support. All sets the table nicely for Dmitry Bivol and Mexican Gilberto Ramirez, former WBO super middleweight champion, 44-0. Enters tonight as the challenger against Dmitry Bivol, and a lovely right hand there from Sultan Al-Nuami. Just rocked Haque onto the back foot for the first time in the contest. Good work from him, and the first mini breakthrough as Haque just looks for the counter left hook, but they both start to let their hands go now.
Yeah, it was good work by Al-Nuami. This is how you beat Haque. You beat the fight out of him, and that's exactly what he's doing. And some big shots.
Yeah, taking some patient work from him, and it's not been all his own way through these first 5.5 rounds, but that was a decent shot, and he had a good spell first minute of round number 6.
Recovered though, Haque. Back on the front foot, trying to respond, land big shots of his own.
He's a good fighter. Again, he is doing so. Just pinning Al-Nuami onto the ropes. Lands a left hook as Nuami's defensive hand just drifted a little low on the ropes.
Short. Right uppercut in there by Haque. Didn't follow it up. Creeping forward again. Good right to the body by Al-Nuami. Changing the levels. Nice 1-2 with variation. starting to get in a bit of a groove now. Al-Nuami on the front foot, on the back foot, mixing things up.
I feel like they're kind of having a bit of a mutually agreed breather for the last 30 seconds after a pretty busy first minute of round number 6. The action really exploded. Again, Haque just landed a nice 2-punch combination, steps forward again, just trying to steal the space from Al-Nuami as he steps off.
It's been better variation, changing the levels with the shots. Hasn't been headhunting as much, dropping to the body.
But assuming it stays this close and goes to the cards, I don't think Haque will be expecting any favours, but should be relatively close.
Oh, certainly, without doubt, he's had his moments, for sure. Much preferring, like I've said early on in this contest, when he's on the front foot like he is now. Good work, though, from Al-Nuami on the back foot. 4 shots. Good work from Haque.
Finishing the round, really putting some meat behind those 2 uppercuts to finish the round. As we head into the final 2 rounds of the action here on Before the Bell. Victories for Farhad Alblushi over Irakli Shariashvili. Campbell Hatton victorious by first round stoppage over Czech Republic's Denis Bartos. Left hook to the body, his dad would have been proud of. Fiaz, really accomplished performance to notch up his 10th professional victory against Diego Valtier from País Vasco in Spain. And well, Sultan Al-Nuami in a tricky contest so far with 2 rounds to go. And this man has flown over on short notice with very little expectation attached to his name and has given a brilliant account of himself so far.
He has, Chris. Pressure's off. All the pressure's on this man here. And he's certainly made a fight of it, Haque. Deep breaths in that corner. He'll be feeling the pace for sure. Coming in at late notice. There's still plenty of fight left in the man from India.
So 2 rounds to go. This super flyweight contest, which was set at a catch weight just over 117 pounds. Both made weight yesterday.
This is exactly where Haque needs to be, in close. You see when he's up close to Al-Nuami, it almost nullifies the work of the man from UAE. Throws a lovely right uppercut, Haque. Missed with the left hook straight after though. Gliding out of range. Just needs to up the tempo. Take Al-Nuami out of his comfort zone.
All the time Haque is seeing these coming and thinking defence first. He seems unfazed by what's coming at him, regardless of whether he's hit by 3, 4 or 5. Just able to ride these walk forwards and keep applying that front foot pressure. Ooh. Lands another nice uppercut.
I don't know what you think, Josh, but you've got to be careful, Al-Nuami, moving forward. That jab always comes back to his chest, and something like Haque should be looking for the right hand.
Yeah, you're right, Darren, but we've seen Haque's mainly looking for that left hook counter, which is good, and he's blocking some of these shots. So I think when Al-Nuami punches, he has to punch with him. Sometimes you can stalk a man down, but just as you're about to get off, he gets off before he moves. You know what I mean? So I think punching with him would help a lot more.
It's been busy this round now, though, Amy. Some of those shots getting through that tight guard of Shoaib Haque. He hasn't been able to put a dent in him in this round. Haque has continued to press forward, make that space small, and he's trying to find exits, give himself a little bit of breathing space and distance to punch. He finds a nice long right hand to the body on Mike McCallum.
Look, you want to look for improvements every single time you fight, and I go back to that Rahman fight that Al-Nuami had in this 6th contest, and it was honestly, it was all headhunting. I've seen in this
lovely right hand to the body.
Gum shield came up.
The gum shield's out. Shoaib Haque has started to walk away. I don't know if the referee called break there, and well, if he didn't, Al-Nuami was within his rights to follow up, and Shoaib Haque is all over.
Darren, on the money, just as he said body shot, he nailed it with it.
Just as I was saying it, look, he was headhunting all the time in that Rahman fight, but there was more variation. He was dropping to the body, and just as I said, he lands that right, and he's done the job.
That's why we paid Darren Barker the big bucks, folks. Well, it was a really, really interesting contest to that point, and there were no signs at all that the work that Al-Nuami was putting in was putting much of a dent in Haque. There was a shot over the top that landed and just staggered him back onto his heels in the previous round, but it looked good, Haque, but one body shot down, as you know, really can take the wind out of his sails, and unfortunately for him, without adequate preparation and a late notice flight and a very, very well placed body shot, that is how it can end.
Yeah, and I feel for Haque there because he really played a part in the contest there. Coming last, they were late notice, flown in from India. He tried, he tried to hold the centre, he tried to land his own big shots. But that last shot there was well timed, on the button, on that floating rib area, and you can see the damage that it's done. Just turned the hip into the shot. It really can do the damage. Let's have a look at this shot again. See the guards high, that body is wide open. There was one that landed, and then that right hand right in the solar plexus.
As he let the right uppercut go, just punched with him. And well, Josh, Darren, you asked for body shots. Josh, you asked for Al-Nuami to punch with him. He did both in one perfect moment, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, he'd be happy with that, Al-Nuami.
And that's the mad thing about boxing, you know, anytime you punch, you leave yourself open. No matter how perfect you make it. Like you said, I said he should punch with him. He did. But he opened up the solar plexus, and that's where he got hit. And that's a money shot right there. Very hard to recover from shots like that.
Certainly is. And well, we know he had to really work for that through 7 rounds. Al-Nuami, and we'll show Haque real credit to him for coming over late notice, giving a brilliant account of himself right until the later stages of that fight. He was right in it. Be very interested to see what the cards were saying at that point, because it was kind of neck and neck. I think Al-Nuami's actually busyness and shot selection maybe just edging him the majority of the rounds through 7, but what a shot it was to finish the contest. He is standing by with David Diamante for the official particulars. Let's head over to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stops this contest at 2 minutes and 26 seconds of round number 7. Your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated, Sultan Al-Nuami.
So Sultan Al-Nuami moves to 9-0 with 6 by way of stoppage to cap off a really interesting before the bell section here in Abu Dhabi at the Emirates Arena, and that sets up a really good night of boxing ahead live on DAZN. Josh, just a quick word on your old Olympic stable mates, Kal Yafai and Galal Yafai, 2 brothers I know you know very well, both sharing the bill for the first time as professionals tonight.
Beautiful. Kal set a great example, not just for Galal but for a whole bunch of us. He's been there, he's done that. He fell short against Chocolito, but I believe he'll get back in the mix. For Galal Yafai, we have to respect his determination. In 2016, we went to the same Olympic Games. We roomed together, we lived together. He was hugely disappointed when he lost to the Cuban, but he stuck on course. He went back on track, and he became Olympic gold medalist. When he won that medal, ask him, the FaceTime message I gave to him when I rang him, I was screaming because I saw the disappointment, how hurt he was when he did it medal in 2016. Yeah. And his head was everywhere, but he went back, he stuck to it, and he's Olympic champion. Every so often I text him and I say, bro, you won the Olympic gold medal. Never forget where God brought you from. You won the medal, because that's all we do in camp. We sleep, we wake up, and we win, and we think about winning that medal. But for it to happen, I said, Gilal, never forget that. Never forget that, man.
I love hearing the team spirit as well. It really was a strong-knit group, wasn't it?
Yeah, and even Cordina, who's here with me, and we live together with Gilal and Big Phrase. So when Cordina won his world title, Mike was off. I said, forget it. I said,
I've never seen you lose a pot like that before.
I said, Wizard, you've won what we're all chasing for, what we do, what you did, Darren. He done that. So I said, bro, I'm happy for him, man. Very happy.
Brilliant words. Well, from one former champion to one potential one in the future, maybe even as early as next year. Joshua Boazzi, Darren Barker, an absolute pleasure to be joined by you as always. Thanks to all of our other guests as well. Congratulations to our winners on Before the Bell. All sets the table nicely for our show live on DAZN in just under half an hour's time. Galal Yafai in action against Gerald Pakla. Majid Al-Nakmi against Lawrence Ordonia. Galal Yafai, the Olympic gold medalist, against Gohan Garcia from Mexico. Zelfa Barrett and Shavkat Rakimov, vacant IBF super featherweight world title. Chantel Cameron and Jess McCaskill undisputed at 140. And Dmitry Bivol makes another defence of his WBA light heavyweight world title against undefeated former WBO super middleweight champion, the huge Mexican southpaw Gilberto Ramirez. Do not miss it, folks. We'll see you on the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time